Yes. Hello, YouTube. Make sure it's using the correct microphone. Yes.
Good.
So Matthew's still liking his job?
Yeah. It's been like stressful. It's diving into being an administrator after like right out of college has been like, but not like stressful. Just like he's working hard.
Yeah, I'm working hard.
But it's good though. Like he loves it. So
we got piled on. Like I don't know. Again, I there's always that thing around IT where people think we're wizards and like we have wizard powers.
Enhanced.
So like today, somebody tried to order like 15 laptops and they wanted them at the end of the day, and I'm like, first of all, it takes us at least a day just to get you. Like we can't just conjure laptops.
Right.
Second of all, to set up 15 laptops, like that's. Like, no, you're getting them on Friday, and you're going to be happy that you're getting 15 laptops on Friday.
Where does he think they're going to come from?
That's what I don't know. Like, because like our CR, like the request manager, like I just heard her groan real loud, and then she's like, "You guys ready for this?" I'm like, "It's like you're lucky I'm here because I talked." Because like he was gonna be like, "No, like give me your supervisor. Like we need to have these today." It's like, no, we can't. Again, like we're not magic.
Where are you gonna go?
Like we are not magic. Like we could maybe, if we had them in the warehouse, if everything went according, which it did, like it all clicked. Like we lucked out. We happen to have 15 of these laptops in that warehouse. But then we got to set them all up. We got to reformat everything.
Right.
We got to install everything. They want a special software on it. So we have to go once we have it all set up. Which that each laptop we can do it all. We can do them all at once. Which we could, but we can't because we're also. It's also not like we have nothing else to do. Like we aren't. Oh, we're just sitting around waiting for this 15 laptop order. See, this can be the YouTube special. The special story. So it's not like we're just sitting on that. So we have our stations where we're setting up computers, it's not like they're empty.
Right.
I set up 8 other computers today. Like I don't just have, and like also that takes time. And if I have to do it, luckily I didn't have any deliveries today. Otherwise I wouldn't even be able to get through those 8 ones that I did get through, because I have to take the computer out of the box, like get it all out, get the packaging out, we throw away stuff and like get that ready to go. Once that's ready to go, then I plug it all into like we have like a workbench that's got like it's like, so it makes it easier just to like, if you just plug it in and go.
Right.
And because we have like the monitor and stuff already set up. So we just plug it into that. And then we have to do this, like the light touch, it's called light touch. And it's where you basically tell it, I want this OS on it. And there's a few apps we can install from there. Like if you want the basic setup, like you want a Windows 7 machine with Microsoft Office and like a couple other things. But that's it as far as that goes. So let's say I do that. Once I have that all in there, which that process takes like 10 minutes. I'm like getting through that real. So I hit the thing. Then when it actually puts all that stuff on there, that takes 4 hours for it to like install so first it wipes the hard drive, it installs Windows, it checks the Windows update process takes forever because then it's got to do all the updates, and it's got to install the applications, then do all those updates, then do one final update check, and then we have to get on there, we have to run some other things just to make sure it's all set up correctly. We have to add it to the network, we have to set up their account on it, then we have to, if they have like, so let's say they have certain other software, like let's say they want Adobe products, or they want this, or they want that, or in this case they want our whatever SAP. I still don't quite know what SAP is, but like if they want SAP, that's like a whole big process. I have to run a script, I have to set this up, I have to load this database. So that's like another like 25 minutes on top of it. And this dude wants 15 of those.
Now, you have like a team that works around
you?
But so it's not just you.
Well, we split it up 5, 5, 5, but that's still 5 on top of all the other stuff I'm doing. I have 3 big PCs that I have to deliver off-site on Thursday, and this person that I'm delivering to is very particular, and I haven't delivered to her yet, but I've heard like stories, so I'm really nervous about that. And I'm going to be evaluated on it. So that's like my primary thing is I'm like, I got to have these ready to go.
Right.
So you start dumping stuff on top of that, like it's going to get pushed. And also like we have laptops you have to ship to remote offices. So when you get that, those take priority because we have to set them up and then we have to make sure they get shipped out.
Right.
And we have to, in order to do that, you also have to first contact the person at the remote office and then like they have to remote into the machine and like all the stuff because we have to set up the account.
Right.
And like so those take extra time, and it's very time sensitive because like if you miss the ship by date, then they're not going to get their computer in time, and maybe they had a presentation they needed this laptop for, so like those cannot be moved around.
Right.
And I have 4 of those this week. So like those are set in stone. I'm working on these. They have to be ready at this time. So again, like it's a lot of shuffle. It's not stress. It's not like, again, it's a different kind of stress. Like I'm not freaking out at work like I was
you
before.
Don't have someone yelling at
no,
you
no. And not at all. And like, and again, I'm the hero usually, but it's just like people, but at every tech position, people think we're wizards. Right. And I'm just like,
you can just enhance.
Come on, dude. Which they did do an enhance on Fargo, and I'm like, no, they did it on Spy.
Really?
And like you saw Spy,
yeah,
and I'm like, that's not. That is not real. That is not a thing. Never. I know for a fact that is not a thing because when you really think about it, it makes no freaking sense.
Because what are they typing in there? Oh, make this tiny
pixel. So here's what I've heard that does exist because somebody was telling me.
Okay.
A computer can run logarithms to like try and figure out like to guess how long that takes. It can take days, sometimes months, because it like runs all these different things, and then it is like it's basically a mathematical guess.
Right.
It's getting better. But it's still like that whole like the way
shows, it's like a shot from
then it goes dink
a camera
dink,
like from a surveillance camera that's like black and white pixels and dink, and then it's like and you're like, well, why do they need this guy to tell the computer guy, oh, look and see what his face looks like? Like the computer guy wouldn't have thought of that on their own. Like, oh, here's our evidence, sir.
That's still
great idea. I should have done that earlier.
Drives me crazy. Like the fact that they do that, even like I don't know, like maybe they think that like, well, we're pretty technology advanced today, like maybe we could get away with the enhanced thing, but like whenever I see it, it's always so stupid because they on Fargo at least they acknowledge like this is as good as it's gonna get, and we can kind of tell it is. We kind of get like to me that's like the most like it's still like the way they were able to enhance it a little bit, and that still to me is kind of like but at least they like basically had this like grainy black and white, and that's what they're using to like try and find the guy.
Filters on it,
but like
and
they
shouldn't say enhance. They should say like, oh, can you try,
Yeah, and that's basically so. At least so I do have a lot of respect for Fargo because at least they're not like they didn't because they're basically going around with this like it's pretty grainy and like they're looking at it and I could totally buy that like but like it's getting spiral and there's like I'm like that is not
and
real.
The facial recognition runs.
Yeah. Or like they're able to figure out the license plate and then run the plate. I'm like, first of all, the software that enhances. There is no software that enhances and then within the same software that does not exist. I will CIA and that does not exist.
Maybe they're making it like on the sly. The enhancement license plate running software
with what Chitauri alien technology, like totally. From Roswell.
That's it.
Like
that's what they would be making, not all the other stuff. Like in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they're working on cloaking. Nope, they'd be working on enhance.
Because the aliens probably figured that out.
Yeah, they can do it. They got no problem.
The Inhumans, they can enhance.
Yeah, they got dark energy or something. I'm gonna spit out my gum before we start recording. I'm gonna make real recording.
Spit that gum.
I'm gonna spit that gum.
We just came up with a Tim and Eric song.
Yep.
Spit that gum in.
Put your gum in the trash.
Don't put it in your ear.
Don't swallow it, or it'll stay in your stomach.
You'll get a big bubble.
A gum bubble. Don't swallow that gum.
I want to see that gum bubble. What's it look like? Yeah. Or they like zoom in and be like little gum dudes dancing around. The bubbles bounce like
bubbles.
And it's like a chippy. Oh my gosh.
The rascal. The rascal. Oh, rascal.
Can I buy this yet? Dang it, I'm so close. I'm as farthest I've ever been. I'm on a deep dive.
Nice. With a masked samurai?
Yeah. Make my bubbles. Make my bubbles.
Be the boys. So that band, well, I'll talk about it. But we saw a really cool band on Saturday.
How'd you find out about that?
I'm friends with the guy from the band. He was in Stairwell. Remember Stairwell? And
yeah, I told you about how I was watching.
Oh yeah. He was on like some show, right?
What show was it on? Oh, it was on How I Met Your Mother. There was a Stairwell poster.
So I'm just friends on Facebook with a couple of the guys, and it's two of the guys from Stairwell and Bloodshed, and they were in Son of Heatwave. Well, one of the guys in Son of Heatwave, and it's one of the guys and his wife. It's their like side band.
Was it the main guy in Son of Heatwave? Who was that guy?
No, that's Son of Heatwave's still going. It's
was
Jeff.
it mean something else?
Yeah, well, they were called Piltotoes.
That's right.
That, yeah.
Wasn't Cameron Stallone's like in one of those iterations?
So I think he played with them for a bit or something, or one of their because they had like so many.
I remember there was some Cameron Stallone's connection.
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
I can't keep track of all of their various iterations, but anyway, so it was one of their, and it's him and his wife that do it. And
where was this at? It was outside.
It was outside. It was like It's funny because here's how I read it.
Because where was it? Like
it was in Chino.
Went to a freaking outdoor show on Saturday
because it was at a big church.
Yeah,
and so I thought like they would move it inside, but no, it was like on the asphalt. There was no shade. The only shade was there was like a little tent over the sound booth. So Matthew and I were like leaning in over the sound booth, and Janelle sat off to the side.
Because like I was in line for a little bit on Saturday, and then I saw your post. I'm like, but like it was still like it was like going outside, and we'll talk about it, but like. It had to have been 100 degrees inside the building,
gosh, yeah.
And it was 100 degrees outside the building. But like, and then I'm like, feels like in Chino outside
on the asphalt. It was so hot.
So I was dying, and you were probably dying even more.
Well, they only played it was probably 25 to 30 minutes. I think they were going to play longer, and they were like dying up there. So
yeah, I think there was a couple matches that got cut because like the wrestlers all looked like they were the only ones that seemed to not be affected by it at all were the luchadors, because I know they wrestle outside a lot, like the guys from Mexico, and like it was really fun. Like somebody pointed out like. Because again, like a lot of luchadors, like they have a very set regimen and they're very old school. So like it was hot and sweaty and gross in there. And then the luchadors come out, and I guess like they're all very like again old school, and like they all smelled like Ben Gay because they all like right, but it smelled real good. Like I'm like, oh, I love because it's like it smells minty, like that Ben Gay like smell, and I'm like, it smells nice in here because there was like 8 of them, and like it just smelled like he's like, I love when the luchadors come out, it smells fresh. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh yeah, they rub Ben Gay like all over because like that so it helps them with like their like just like their because it's like a pain reliever thing. And
we stayed when Luke was like first born. We went on a trip to Oregon, and we stayed in this little motel outside of Medford, Oregon, and it was a nice little place. Like a little mom and pop type place. And on the inside of the door where, it has like the rates and stuff, it had this sign and it said, please no use of Ben Gay in the room. It makes a smell. And, we can't get and I'm like, what happened that they've had a recurring issue where people are using Ben Gay in this little motel?
Old people?
I guess. But that's weird. Like, it just seems like
because it does like resonate.
Well, it's there. Yeah, you can't, but it's just
I've never seen that in a motel before. Because like imagine like it was a room of like 400 like sweaty big dudes, like mostly big dudes, some girls, but like everybody, and like people, because again, like people have been waiting in line for like hours in the heat, and then you go into the room and it's almost hotter in there, and so it was gross, dude. Like it was not, but it was great. It was wonderful.
Well, that's good.
And like
there was a payoff.
And like I'm so those those like I wore the one that had the tech pocket, but it was like that material. It's almost
almost like a baby
that
suit.
Was perfect because it like soaked up the sweat, dude.
But it like reflects other people's.
Yeah, it was great.
Those are the best.
It was I'm wearing it to like every show because it was like perfect for that. Like it breathes. It was great because there were dudes. Because like I know fats, but some of them like they were still in their sweatshirts or like longs. Because again, like fat armor, like a lot of, and I'm like, you guys, like you're in with friends. It's okay. Like I remember somebody even said like there was a dude that looked like he was gonna pass out, and he was wearing like a hoodie, and it's like, dude, you're among your people here. You can take off your hoodie. He's like, okay, I guess I will, because like it looked like he was about to pass out, and it's like, come on, dude. We all know what everybody's dealing with right now. Just it's okay.
It's all right.
There was one wrestler that came out in like a fur coat because he was like a party. And I'm like, how is that?
Well, even like the masks, like
there was the mask guys, and like so the lucha, one of them, Drago, like he has like a really elaborate like rubber mask, and like Max pointed out, he's just like, can you imagine what it's like under his thing?
Even like on a normal day wearing a mask, like Halloween, I sweat like crazy into this.
But some of those guys like live it, because like a lot of the luchadors, like when they got out of their car, like they were wearing their mask. Like it's like they're like, these are like the hardcore.
Can you imagine what it smells like inside that mask?
Well, here's the thing, they change them out all the time, and you want to know why? Because they can sell them as like ring worn, and you know how much they were selling those freaking masks for? $150, and people were buying them
for sweaty
used masks. Dragos were like $200, and he sold out of them.
Oh my gosh! I mean, I guess if you can get it, but
because like they sell their, it's crazy. I'm losing some of the material by talking about it. So
that's a good bonus.
Yeah. So that's Did I post this? Yes.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Yahoo! I don't know where that came from. I was doing the Ronnie Martin.
Oh.
For some reason, I've had that because you were telling me that story like about like Wolf in the Ben. So I've had that in my head. Who is your friend?
Wolf in the
I've had that in my head.
Wolf in the bed. I want to get Joy Electric out for Blue Christmas so bad.
That'd be awesome.
I don't know what we're gonna get. It might be a Blue Christmas at a coffee shop this year.
No, the sound you said Kush sounded like.
Yeah, it's a tough like. They're amazing, but I don't know how much of a draw they'll have, and I can't risk like a large amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Like Starflyer, I know I can get a certain amount of people out for that will just come, but
Jason's already
he's already like pretty much said no, at least for now. So I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean? Like it's if we had just a place to do it.
Well, if we could get some local bands.
Definitely don't have a.
I don't know. I was talking to the American Legion dude because I was asking him, and it sounds like a pretty good deal.
Well, it could be good,
but not at like this particular. Because I mean, this is in Reseda; it's really far. But like they're all over the place. Because it's seriously like it's not that big a room. All of them have stages. All of them have like a little like a sound area where you could run sound out of. They all have like a snack bar area.
Right.
Like he's like, they all look like this. He's like, this is the standard Legion Hall. So I was talking to him about, he was kind of.
That could be good.
And like, but there's other, like, I'm just telling, like, it might be something like, I just, like, and these guys, like, because he's like, well, a lot of these, like, the wrestlers, they rent it out for like the whole day or whatever. But like, if you're talking about like just a few hours, like, oh yeah, like it's not that.
Yeah.
Like, Matt, stop chatting through your phone. We don't see it.
How do you join the Hangout and not just watch the YouTube live feed?
You click the Hangout link that I posted, not the YouTube one.
On your phone?
No, not on your phone.
Well, that's what he's doing.
If you click on your phone, your chat goes through. You need to be on an actual computer. And you don't click the YouTube link, you click the Google Hangout link on the Radio BrendoMan. If you go to radiobrendo.com, the link is there, Matthew.
It's right at the top.
It's right there. The YouTube live feed that's like what I tweet out. And some people like that. But if you join the Hangout from your phone, when you chat, it will go to this and not to this chat.
Not to that.
Because it's stupid?
I think, like, I've been talking with Tim from Ohm's Law.
Yeah.
And he's got it. I mean, he's been doing a band for a few years now called Radio Relay
yeah, but they're doing Lancaster.
Oh, no, I know that. But he was talking about coming out here for Blue Christmas. So that'd be cool. I mean, he said he'd be willing to come out. So again, just kind of depends on where we wind up. And I think this band we saw would be amazing too.
Well, we need to start looking into venues.
Because
at the very least, like what could we do at Queen Bee?
I'm sure at the very least we could do something like that, so that the name lives on. But
I think if we could get like some bands that could like draw, we need to look into.
Yeah, if it's not too crazy.
Well, that one hall that has the thing on all the time. What is that?
Wow.
Okay, so you're on your computer. Too. Is that you, Evil Mike?
Yeah, that's that.
Now I gotta mute you. Wait, who's Evil Mike?
This is not Nice Mike. This is Evil Mike.
Well, I thought that was your brother.
Who, Mike? I don't have a brother named Mike.
I know. Where's Matthew?
That's a diabolical.
Oh, that's Mike Merriman. Is that Mike Merriman?
This is Evil Mike.
Okay, it is.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because his podcast is Evil Episodes. All right.
That was my diabolical laugh.
Other people on YouTube, well, I don't know what to tell you, Matthew, because there are people in here. You go to Radio Brendo, you click the Google Hangout. I don't know what to tell you. There are people in here. They're always in here. So I'm sorry that you can't follow instructions, and you always have problems.
Poor Matthew.
You go to radiobrendo.com. Do you want me to just invite you from here? I think I can do that. Gosh, Matthew.
Evil Mike said Brendo, the link on Twitter was not taking people here.
Well, you had to copy-paste the link, so do that. Copy and paste it.
There you go. That's good. Oh, you got a direct invite there. All right. He figured it out because he's evil.
Oh, it's hot.
It's so hot in here. It's not as bad as it's been, though.
There's other livable. People on the YouTube page? Like, what? Let me see this. What is going on?
Something is happening.
All right. Give me like 1 minute, and then we can stop. Oh, you're doing a Craven-a-thon? I mean, that makes sense, because he's a horror guy. What are you on now? What movie are you on, Matt? Mike. I keep saying Matt, because Matt is Phil's brother.
Mike is my cousin.
Scream is up next.
Nice.
All right, so if we go into here... See, there you go. Matthew Vecchio. Join the group chat.
So direct invite.
If we go to live streaming... So here's this, but then we'd have to like open another window.
Well, to
see the chat, and there's nothing in here. Nobody's on the chat. Who's saying things on YouTube, Matthew? There's nobody chatting.
I've never even heard of Deadly Friend.
Oh yeah, that's the
Yeah, we'll allow.
Deadly Friend is the one where it's like is it like a robot? That was like a super... Christy Swanson was a teenager. Oh, okay.
Andres, yes, you can do a write-in at this point, because I know a couple people didn't get it in there.
Scary movie.
We'll allow that. That could be fun, actually, to do a scary movie.
I don't know, man. Nobody's in the YouTube chat, so I don't know what Matthew's talking about.
I don't see anything in there.
Maybe there's another chat. Is there like comments? Like I
don't know.
I don't know. It says I'm offline. Why does it say I'm offline?
I don't know. But it says you're online on the other thing.
I don't understand this.
Well, for tonight, Matthew made it in. If someone else has got problems, try cutting and pasting. Sounds like that works.
What if I just go... Hold on. My channel. Oh, so it's you and Lindy. Let's see if I can get Brendo worked up. Have you guys tried the YouTube gaming app? Have not.
It worked too.
So I'm not even seeing mine on our channel. I don't understand. Where are you? What address did you go to get there? Like where? I did Twitch straight from my PS4 and it was fine. I was doing it. There's Andrew.
James.
I don't even know where you guys were. Okay, if I go to my Twitter.
Yeah, go there and click and see where it brought you.
Okay, so if you record, so you click the YouTube link. No, if you go to Radio Brendo, there's a link to the Google Hangout. But you said that doesn't work? I don't know, man. Whatever.
There's the link.
That's a link inside the Google. Now you're going to get people incepted.
This is, yeah. Is it because, like, they've changed stuff around? Is that what's
No,
going
I think
on?
it's something with, like, the WordPress. It doesn't paste the link correctly. I don't know. So, because, like, you click this.
Yeah, it's not doing it.
And then that takes you to our website. This is like a YouTube page. Whoa!
Now we are incepting.
Now we're watching a stream ourselves.
It's gonna be like a.
It's gonna be like a feedback loop. Okay. So this page.
There. I do not even understand.
Where is this? Where were you guys chatting? I don't even see where you were chatting.
Oh, right there. There it is.
Oh, okay. That's weird. I don't even know what this is.
Huh. I don't know.
All right. Well,
for now.
Because we can't see this and have our document up. And what's up, Andrew? Well, I was trying to figure out the actual YouTube streaming thing they have now, but
right.
You have to use a third. You can't use Hangouts with it, and like, I don't know. That just I like Hangouts. I don't know. Have I received my advance? I actually read Geek like a year ago, and you know, but the digital ones you should have gotten a digital copy. I think he's sending those out. And then I just was hanging out with Matt this weekend. We'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah.
But he is sending them all out. It's done. The book exists.
I've seen pictures on Facebook of it.
Jesse did start up a blog. I think it looks cool. See, oh, it didn't make it a link.
Oh,
that's what.
Oh, so that's why I cut and paste. That's what.
Here, I'll fix this. It's not my fault. That's WordPress. But Matthew, you didn't know that you should just copy this and paste it? Also, if you're in Chrome, you can just right-click it and say go to.
True.
Like, come on, Matthew.
But he's on his phone.
He's not on his phone.
But he is on his phone. Are you on your phone, Matthew?
He couldn't be on his phone. He wouldn't be in the chat.
Oh.
When you're on your phone and you're in the Hangout, it doesn't put the chat into the chat. It's really stupid.
Why is it so weird today?
Because Google is... I don't understand.
All right.
I'm not really a Metal Gear Solid. I don't like stealth games.
Yeah,
it's too stressful. Like, it stresses me out.
Yeah, I just want to go and fight stuff if I'm going to do that kind of game.
And then I die because you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I was playing the Metal Gear Solid 5. It's basically a demo, but I guess they were selling it for full price, and then they gave it away, and I started just like, I'm just gonna bust through this fence and kill this guy, and I immediately was like, it's like fail.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Even like the Spider-Man games where you have to like crawl on the ceiling and no one can detect you and stuff. Like, I just want to like shoot stuff with the webs and I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not really.
It's even my least favorite part of Zelda games when you have to like sneak around behind the guards.
Like, I like how in Elder Scrolls games, you can do whatever you want. Like, you can be a total stealth guy, or you can be a total barbarian. I'm gonna destroy everything, nice. And that's pretty cool. We also did you get the email that said to let us know by the 11th, Andrew, or did you get an actual volunteer confirmation?
Because we got
an email saying we'll let you know your assignment by the. But does that mean a confirmation? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, I think Andrew's on a delay.
Yeah. We'll hear from him on that in a moment.
Do you guys live in the same town now?
Yes.
Okay, so Andrew got the same one.
Okay.
So that's like, okay.
So
Do you guys?
that
Yeah.
means we're probably in, right?
We live in Ukaipa.
Yeah.
We're not roommates.
No.
Phil is roommates with his wife and kids.
Yes. But we do live.
I live right down the street.
Not even a mile away from each other. So.
It's like 0.8.
Yeah.
0.7.
So it's very close.
So
it's not a big long commute.
I am not Uncle Joey. I do not live in your alcove.
No. Although that was, a possibility.
So Andrew says if you got that, then you'll be a volunteer.
Cool.
So
that sounds like we're
it's on.
There.
It's on like Donkey Kong.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always nice having your best bud, and then you can podcast together and do other stuff.
So speaking of that, we should probably start actually.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And you
Matthew's talking on here. No. Okay. No. Okay. I just wanted to make sure that if people. Sorry, I'll just post this on. I don't know. I gotta figure this out. Now I think my computer is being dumb.
How hot does it get?
It gets pretty hot.
It's hot. I mean, it's not hotter than like the surrounding area. We're in the foothills, so it's a little bit cooler than like, down in Redlands, down, a few minutes.
But we're in the 90s.
But yeah, and then like last week it was in the hundreds, 105, and so.
But
we're about.
How far inland are you? Like we're like an hour and a half hour. We're inland. We're in the Inland Empire.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's cheap.
So yeah, an hour. Well, depending on what part of the beach you're trying to get to, but probably closest spot is an hour and a half, maybe.
We should buy BrendoMan.
BrendoOnAir.
BrendoOnAir. Oh, and have that auto redirect. Ooh, that's a good idea. And just have that redirect to whatever the hangout is. Ooh, that's a really good idea, Matthew.
Wow.
If you went as fast as possible,
maybe. I mean,
90 minutes, maybe a little bit close.
Maybe a little
like
bit
if
less.
you just went straight east, where would you hit? If you go on the 10,
you go to Santa Monica, but that'd be slow. You'd be faster to cut down at
go to like
Seal Beach or Huntington or something.
That would probably get there like an hour.
Seal Beach would be like your closest.
Like an hour and 15, no traffic.
Yeah, if you're flying.
But in 90 minutes, you could be in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
When the sun comes up over Santa Monica Boulevard, yes.
Yep.
Like that Sheryl Crow
So
song.
it's close enough that we can go to the beach, without too big of a journey, but we are definitely inland. Now, just further from us is like Palm Springs and stuff, where it gets like mega hot.
Yeah.
Indio out there. Ugh. We're not that far from there, so. There we go. There's the full link.
I'll tweet that.
Perfect.
Well, yeah, NorCal can be horrible. I mean, Were you talking about goat milking?
No, you were talking about. You're trying to get us to talk about your ranch again there. Matthew lives on a ranch.
Sacramento Valley. No, thank you. I've done my time. I sold fireworks and had to sleep in a freaking camper in Sacramento. I don't know. I don't know what you thought we were talking about. No.
Nope.
I don't even know what you would have thought. I don't even know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Maybe someone can go back and figure out why you thought we were talking about milking, but that was definitely not a conversation. I would think I would know if we were talking about milking.
Why would we be talking about milking?
I don't know.
All right. Well, let's bear down. Let's do this.
Do it.
Because
Now it's almost 10 o'clock already.
Whatever, dude. I didn't go to bed till like 1 something last night, and I woke up and I was fine.
Good.
I don't know how many more days I could do that for, so let's get rolling here.
Rolling with the homies.
That was really
Clueless.
No, we don't get any food trucks out here.
No, not unless it's a special occasion.
And yeah, probably somebody
because when they do those carnivals, they bring food trucks up.
Windows 10, what are you doing?
Stop it. Stop.
Windows 10 like made this sound.
Woo-woo.
Hey. You know what's going on with your computer? Let me check that real quick. Because it seems like I have a lot of stuff going on. Ugh. Chrome. Being chromy.
Chrome.
What is this?
System.
It's not very specific.
The system is down.
All right. It's probably the Hangout. I guess I'll close this. Close a tab. What the heck is this?
Get a pop-up? Did you just get a pop-up?
It's from this stupid thing. You're gone now, dude. You're popping up.
What is that?
Raptor, it's like a thing that tracks video games that you play, and then it gives you credits, and like you can like get things with them.
But now you get pop-ups from it?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't even know how to close it now. See, now Windows 10 is like freaking out. You're trying to do too many things at once. Ugh.
Alright.
Brendo, why did Chrome stop Flash support? Because Flash is the devil. Flash is crazy vulnerable to exploits.
Is it totally stopped now?
Not well. They stopped supporting it in Chrome.
Okay.
Because Flash needs to go away.
So you can't look at Homestar anymore.
Well, you can if but you have to like. I think I don't know. I think if you can set it. I think you can override because like by default it's disabled, but you can override it.
Huh.
But at some point it's gonna be. Well, they can't release security updates fast enough because it's just such it takes over it's so slow. Again, it's mostly a speed thing. It's a convenience thing. Most people don't like half the people don't even have the plugin installed. So like that's like if you're a website and you're using Flash, there's half your audience.
Which means we really should switch over to doing like a blog or whatever.
And security and I don't get upset about remakes because I think that's a dumb thing to get upset about.
Yeah. I don't necessarily like
here's how to deal with remakes. Don't watch it.
Yeah.
The end.
They're not always all worth watching. Sometimes
some of them are good. Sometimes they're good. What if it's good?
Well, I'd watch Will Smith in just about anything once.
Matthew, did you see the Homestar Runner where they make fun of that Flash is going away? It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So
check it out. Oh yeah, I posted it.
In Radio BrendoMan, I think.
Did you like the splits from earlier this week? I don't know why, but I watched that thing on loop like 20 times.
I guess it was okay.
Just because he does this
yeah.
when he puts his arms
freaking
out.
People out. Like this thing is, if I right-click it, nothing happens. Like what is going on?
I don't know.
Ugh.
It's like a raptor. Just
here, we're gonna have to force quit this.
It won't let you close.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Weird.
What's up with that?
What's up with that? Ooh wee.
Did you see they hired a new featured cast member?
No, who?
I forgot his name.
Somebody new.
Somebody new.
I'm excited. When does that start up again? September or something?
Yeah, because I think the second episode is Tracy Morgan. I don't know how.
I thought he was doing like
maybe the first
premiere.
one.
I think.
Maybe.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I think he might either doing the first.
Officially?
I haven't heard, and it's still. I heard maybe.
He has been. He's the. Old
I think
man
Miley Cyrus is first.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they maybe thought about, but what if? Like again, I think it's a very real possibility that he's not gonna be able to keep it together.
Yeah.
Which I'm not gonna be able to keep it together. Like, did you see him on that just that interview? Like, it was hard. It's hard to watch, man.
He's already unpredictable beforehand. Like,
well, also, like again, like you never know with him. Like, what's he gonna? Dude, I think he's gonna do great, and I think it's gonna be great, and I'm really excited. But I think they want like a known entity, and Miley does deliver on SNL.
Yeah, she does.
So I'm excited. I think it starts like.
I hope that we get another Miley Cyrus show. I know
man.
I don't think she's done that in a while, has she?
No.
I know that got played out a bit.
I still think that I still think that Ellen Page was the best Miley Cyrus.
Oh yeah. I don't know, just something about her Miley Cyrus.
Hers is.
I got flips and a show. It's pretty cool.
They haven't done that in a while.
I know. So I hope they bring it back. It's pretty cool.
And Vanessa Bayer is like blowing up. So.
Yeah. She was so good.
Trainwreck. Oh my gosh. I was dying.
Yeah, but she couldn't stop smiling.
She's like, stop it. Get that out.
Don't see your teeth.
Anything else in here? You can just. Why is Chrome running like 50?
The other girl in Ghostbusters, you mean Kate McKinnon? Or are you referring to...
Well, Kate McKinnon is amazing.
She's huge and awesome. But also...
but Vanessa Bayer is...
What's the...
Well, Cecily Strong is a supporting cast member.
Right.
Are you talking about Kristen Wiig? You don't know her name?
No. Who else is... Who's the
Leslie
fourth?
Jones.
Oh, Leslie Jones. Oh, yeah, Leslie Jones. I mean, she may not be the hugest... Yet,
well, there seems to
be...
There's more Chrome processes than I have tabs open, so I'm just wondering what the heck all this other crap.
I'm just saying that Leslie Jones is going to be huge.
Leslie Jones,
incredible.
This season she's gonna be like her blow up season, like Vanessa Bayer last year.
Yeah, because dude, her bit in Trainwreck,
I was dying.
Was like my favorite part.
As soon as I saw her, I was like, yes!
It's gonna be so good.
This is gonna be great, and it was.
And that randomly is like, don't lean on me.
Well, McKinnon's been on it way longer. And she was already... McKinnon took the wig spot.
Yeah.
Like, huge. And I think Bayer's getting more and more stuff. Her and Cecily.
I will miss Keenan, though. I mean...
Well, yeah.
I know it might be time for him, but... Gosh.
No, I think Bayer came in with Cecily Strong and...
Vanessa Bayer!
And I think McKinnon was on, like, one... now this is gonna... Now I got to know.
She was born in 1981. She's 3 years younger than me.
She's only... So she has been on SNL since 2010.
All right.
But she started out, like, I think she had 2 seasons as a featured.
Yeah.
It seems like they promoted people pretty quickly lately.
Well, especially when they kind of
fired
the
big clean out. The Brooks Wheelan clean out,
yeah,
as I call it. Which he did not come to that thing that he was built on. I'm like, what's Brooks Wheelan doing? He's got a comedy album, I guess.
Not Kate McKinnon you're looking for.
Oh, yeah.
And I was when you're like poised to like type something and you don't remember what you were going to type.
Okay, she's even younger. Jeez.
When is she? Wow.
So she's been on SNL since... Oh, so she is... 2012. So Bayer has been on longer. You're right.
All right.
And then, let's see. Keenan...
He's like one of the...
Well, I just want to see if he's leaving.
He's one of like the longest tenures now, isn't he?
Yeah. He's returning.
Yes. Wait,
confirmed return.
That's in May.
Yeah. He decided not to leave.
All right. That's good.
Because the rumors of he was leaving were last year.
Right. Okay.
So if you look at the timeline.
Oh yeah, because like back in September.
In 2014, they were saying he was going to leave, and then in May he said, and then even in September of that year he said you don't have to worry. So it was like a quick thing, and then it became like the narrative was he was going to leave. It seemed like it was over the course of a weekend. It went from Keenan's leaving to Keenan not leaving. And then it was officially confirmed in May.
Nice.
Through this season. So not even a mid-season, because Bill Hader kind of snuck
like
out.
Half.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, the Optimus guy is great. All his stuff is great.
What's up with that? What's up with that? Are we ready here?
Yes.
We should do it. We're going to start for reals.
For reals this time.
For reals, yo.
I don't know what my computer's doing. I feel like I want to close all out of Chrome, but then we wouldn't need it. We could close Chrome if stupid Google hadn't removed the Google Docs feature from Hangouts. Why did they do that?
I don't know. What are they thinking? You didn't check the mic yet. You want to double check it?
Check. Hello.
Check. All right, it's there. It's good.
Check. Hello.
All right, we're gonna do it, guys. It's for real.
We'll finish that.
It's the chair. It wasn't me.
It was the chair.
It was the chair.
Now I'm gonna get up. They're taking Undeclared off of Netflix. Now I'm gonna have to get my DVDs out because they didn't renew their Epix deal because I guess they were asking for too much money, and like half the stuff that's on Netflix is through the Epix deal. Netflix is about to get cleaned out, dude.
No.
So you might want to look at some of those posts that sell you
see what they're clearing out.
Yeah, because there's some stuff in my queue that I want to watch, but a lot of it's gone. Like you have like 15 days on some.
Start watching fast.
Yeah. But I have the DVDs, so it is weird. But I'm like, I have to go get them if I want to watch it. And also, it's just nice just having it there.
That's good. Just knowing it's there.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hello and welcome to another episode of Radio BrendoMan. I'm Brendan Creasy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
And I didn't bring up the right thing. So there we go.
We've already had a number of false starts, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Chair is like squeaking under me, so that's the thing. It's not.
That's your chair.
It's my chair.
You brought it.
It's squeaky.
It's a Vecchio chair.
It's a Vecchio chair.
What's wrong with your Vecchio chairs?
Squeaky.
Don't do that.
So, how is your week?
It's good. I mean, work is good and busy, keeping me busy. It's, again, like, it's crazy. The time speed up is just, I'm still, like, it's just flying by.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to all that. I mean, like, not having free time anymore is weird. Having to budget, like, my show watching.
Yeah.
Pace things out.
Do stuff.
I don't know. I'll figure it out. New Japan is going to start running shows again soon. I don't know how that's going to fit in to my schedule. Like, I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I can barely keep up with wrestling as it is. I watch Raw on Tuesdays now most of the time because by the time I can watch it, it's like time for bed. So I guess I'll just watch it in the morning. But then like that's a whole day of spoilers. So, but I mean, I'm not a big spoiler because it's like, oh, that happened. I can't wait to see that happen.
Right.
For me, that's how I do. But other people are like, no, and like, and I'm just like, I don't know. Like that does not ruin it for me. I feel like if that ruins it for you, then like it can't be that enjoyable if it can be ruined
just by knowing that.
Yeah, and that's true for me for a lot of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird, but. Yeah, so that happened. I mean, work happened as it always
generally
happens.
Good still.
Things are good. It's
busy,
still busy but good, and I like it. It's nice being busy and having, even though it's still like the whole work thing. It's like this is just a means to an end, and sometimes you just feel like you're a little cog in the big machine, and that can wear on you. But that's life, I guess. And
at least no one's yelling at the cog at the moment.
No yelling yet to happen.
It's good.
We'll see.
Good.
We'll see what happens there. I mean, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Seems like it's good. I got people. Like, there's a huge layer of people that, in order for me to get yelled at, they'd have to.
You got some buffer.
We got a huge buffer.
That's good.
Huge. So that's awesome. Went to the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla shows this weekend. Made it to both nights. I thought I was gonna end up being that guy outside. Everybody go ticket. I actually had a backup plan where I was going to go there first, and if it wasn't going to pan out, there was another show running that I knew, like down in, it was in Southgate, but I mean that's not that far of a drive.
Right.
So I would have gone down there and gone to that other show.
But you had good seats.
But then I ended up, but again, like, I don't know, it's fun. This has been an interesting weekend because I just learned, like, never count people out, I guess.
Yeah.
Because Matt Cohen came through, and you know, we're still friends. We still talk. Mostly these days we talk about wrestling, and so I was like, I'll see if Matt, because I know Matt goes to the shows, and he's gone to the last several shows.
Right.
And you see him on. It's funny seeing him because they I'll talk about it in a minute, and like when we get to this part of the show. But I love their business model because it's super indie, but people on the internet hate it because it makes it so exclusive because they won't expand because they're at a point where they know exactly what their budget is. They know how much money they're going to bring in. They know how much money it costs. So they're at a perfect harmony and they've been doing this for 12 years without stopping. They haven't gone out of business. They haven't had to have a break.
Right.
And anything indie, no matter what, it seems in my experience, any indie thing has like a maximum like 3-year shelf life before you either go out of business or you burn yourself out doing it,
or expand to a bigger thing,
but then what's the most common thing we see is you get too big, and then all it takes is one tiny mistake and you're done, and then that's it, and you can end up losing a quick, like as Mike says in the chat, expanding can sink an indie wrestling company, and I've seen that happen. I mean, to Matt and Brendo's wrestling show's home promotion, they just too much, too quick.
Right.
Because the venue they were booking, I remember even the first time I went to the show, I'm like, if they don't, like, all it's going to take is one low turnout, and like, this is done. Because they had I'm like, I can even guess, because they were like renting out this hockey arena, and I'm like, all it's going to take is one bad attendance, and like, you're done. You are done. And you're putting up a lot of your own money. I mean, that project that Jeff Katz put together crashed and burned.
Well, we were just talking before the show about like doing band concerts and shows.
There's a huge risk involved in
knowing what kind of draw you're going to be able to get and how much you're willing to risk on it.
So what these guys have done, it's like now it's 2 dudes. It's seriously 2 dudes that run the business end of it, and they've perfected their model, and so I can tell I even talked to one of them. They're very apprehensive about expanding. They want to be very careful and plan their next move because it's so fragile. It's like perfect homogenization. But because of that, the internet and the fans are like, oh, now you're being so exclusive. You're creating an artificial demand. Because again, only right now, the show I saw last night, only 400 people that were there, maybe 450, are the only people that saw that show. Nobody else. People are talking about it on the internet like, oh, like this happened. No, because of because the way they operate, the reason why it's so good is because they bring in talent from all over the world, a lot of contracted talent. They work through a lot of loopholes and contracted people's talents where, okay, we can get this guy, but a lot of the guys they bring in from contracted places, they can't have streaming pay-per-views because these guys are contracted other places. That would be a breach of their contract, like the people that are in TNA or Ring of Honor. Like, these are the bigger on TV right now. Right. They're not really indie promotions, but compared to WWE, they are indie promotions.
Right.
But these are companies that are backed by corporations. They're just they're fraction of what WWE is doing, and so what Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, they contract this talent because they have a very specific model where they don't broadcast it. A month from the show, they will release a DVD of the show, and you can stream it online. But that's it. No pay-per-view, no TV, but you can buy it. So that's how the contracts work, and it's very specific, but it drives people on the internet crazy because, again, as of right now, only 400 people saw this show. And a month from now, other people are going to, and I'm going to be all over that deep because I'm in the front row. I'm sitting next to Max Landis. But it upsets a lot of people on the internet, and they call them the hipster promotion. But I'm like, no, this is just 2 very smart people that know how to keep a promote, because they've been going since 2003.
You want to have a business still happening.
Yes, their business model might anger some people, but it's the only reason why they still exist. Because if they had done what people are telling them to do, like, oh, you should rent an arena or you should do this. Again, all it takes is one bad show, and you're in debt up to your eyeballs. Yeah. Or, again, because it's so low-key, they wouldn't be able to bring in some of the talent they were bringing, and the talent they bring in is what makes it what it is.
Right.
And also, I don't know, I didn't believe this until I actually witnessed it, but I saw matches during this course of the weekend that I had seen before in other indie promotions, and from a star rating perspective. So, for instance, you won't know who these people are, but I saw Chris Hero, Matt Benson and I saw Chris Hero wrestle Biff Busick up in San Jose WrestleMania weekend.
Okay.
That was probably a 3.5 star match on a 5-star scale. And I'd always heard about this, but I didn't believe it until I witnessed it happen. I saw that same exact matchup, 4.5 stars,
Really?
easy. Like they perform at I don't know what it is. I think it's either the crowd, okay. Like, have you ever been inside like an American Legion Hall or one of just those small little or like an Elks Lodge, like something? It's seriously like it's probably like half the size of the Biola Cafeteria,
Okay.
or maybe about that size, with a stage and night mat, and so there's. And then there's like a ring, and there are like 4 rows of seats on each side of the ring, and then like a row of standing people, and that's like 450. And we're crammed in there. If you're sitting from the second row, I could almost touch the ring.
Huh.
That's how there is no guardrail. I mean, you're like right there, and they cram as many people in there. So. And I think it's that atmosphere where the fans are just right there, and they're crazy. Like, they're chanting for everybody, and it makes them want to perform better. And also because of the exposure they're getting, because it's so like huge, like they're just, every single match is just this level of intensity that I had never seen before. I mean, I'll say it was the best show I've been to. I've seen a lot of wrestling. I've been to a lot of shows. I've been to like WrestleMania. I've been to a small little indie show. Like Benson and I went to a show. There were 30 people there.
Right.
Like, and this was by far the most fun I've ever had at a wrestling show. I'm talking more than WrestleMania, more than anything I've ever been to ever.
Wow, that's big.
It was crazy. And so, but I feel like from you, like running shows, like you can respect I really respect what they're doing, and they've hit this business model. But it has upset a lot of people. And if you go on the internet, there's just this huge anti-pro wrestling guerrilla, PWG, just because they're like, oh, it's just this hipster douche. Like they could easily, and it's like, no, like people don't understand, like, because the first PWG show, like, it's not like they even started out huge. The first PWG show they had, there were like 30 people. Like, and they just built it to where, like, so, and again, they never overextended, and so, so that's that.
In comparison, like, sometimes, like, you go to a big, like, concert band, and sometimes it's great, but, like, some of the best shows I've ever been to are,
and
like,
it's exactly
in
like
a smaller place. It's like I always think back to like that Spring Fest we did, where it was inside the Student Union building at Biola,
and it was just
people were hanging over the balconies,
standing room only.
And the bands were just like on fire.
That was because think about like how good some of the sets were. Like it kind of it's this weird energy, and everybody feels it, and you just perform the heck out of it. Like you're like, this is special. I'm gonna make this even more special, and then it also kind of builds this competition spirit within, like, some of the, like, even that night, like, I could tell, like, bands were trying to top each other, like, top that set, like, and, like, they're just trying to put on, and, like, that's how it is at pro wrestling, like, because every match, it was just this, like, I'm like, there's no, like, I remember 3 different times looking over to whoever I was sitting next to, like, even just total strangers, and being like, there's no way it's going to be better than that. And then the next, and it would be better. Like, it just kept building and building and building to the point where you're just like, this is crazy. This is completely crazy. And, so, I don't know. I that's why indie wrestling, it's a mixed bag, because I've been to horror. It's not always like that, but when it is, it's great. Same thing like in music. Like sometimes you get some dud shows. It's like, but like when it's good, it's so good. It's the best thing. Like I think it's like, I just remember, like, I forgot what show. Steve and I went to this one hardcore show, a chain where like you couldn't move, but it was just like amazing. And, like, you know, it's so hot. And, again, like, this is, again, think about that building and think about 450 sweaty people. And it was so, and, like, the AC was, like, barely on. And to the point where, like, the wrestlers were so sweaty, they were, like, there were a couple botches, as you could call them, like, because they're, like, they either slipped off the turnbuckle because it's just, like, or, like, they slipped on each other because they're just so sweaty. And it's so hot. It's so hot. Like, It was so hot in there, but I didn't care. Like at first, like if I stopped to like think about it, I'm like I'm gonna die. But then I just have to get back into what was going on, and you don't even think about it. But then when I walk to my car, I'm like I am soaking wet right now, and I think half of this sweat is not mine, and like, but it was so much fun. I'll talk a little bit more about it in a bit. But what about you? I mean, you did a lot of you had a your kids. School's going good.
School's going well. Kids are doing good.
Yeah.
They both have friends.
It's awesome.
I told you before, but like,
yeah,
Luke's like one of his best friends at school is Brendan.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty funny.
Luke's having a Zelda birthday party.
He's having a Zelda birthday party at the park. We're inviting the whole class because I learned
we
the
learned
hard
this,
way the error of trying to invite specific
selective
people.
invitations at school. Definitely frowned upon.
Yes.
Causes some problems.
So we're just inviting the class. You can get away with doing like just girls or just boys, but he's got like some girls that he's been friends with too. So we figured, it's at the park.
It's a park. I mean,
so it's easy.
A park party.
Yeah. So but Janelle found like all kinds of great. Like she's got a Zelda pinata.
Nice.
And, like party favors in the whole 9 yards. So it's gonna be good. Went to a couple shows this week, which was great.
Yeah.
Went and saw the Night Tides, which was Clark from the Spivvies, his band, and it's a lot of fun. They played for like 2 hours, and we only stayed for about 50 minutes because it was school night and the kids were tired. But it was really fun. They're like instrumental surf stuff, but they also do some like covers of like Beach Boys and some other stuff like that.
I remember we were joking around because it actually looked like there was a forecast where it might have rained that night, and I'm like, how crazy is it that their band were gonna get rained out? Because the first night got rained out, and like in Southern California, the 2 nights within a span of just like the only 2 nights in like several months that it rains, and it's the nights that their band. Like, that's horrible.
So it didn't wind up raining, but it was like so intensely humid because it was like gonna rain, and it was just like Clark, as you know,
remember that day.
I
was miserable.
Dude, it was just all of us were just dripping.
Because it was like 105 in Redlands that day.
Yeah, and super humid, but it was a lot of fun. The kids were like dancing and enjoyed it and stuff, so it was cool. And then we went on Saturday. We went to see this band called B is Bridgie, which Matthew, my brother, came with me.
He's not in the chat anymore.
He's not there anymore. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, he still came, even though he's not in the chat. And Janelle and the kids, and it was funny. Like, it was this carnival thing. I didn't know what to expect because I thought it was at like a church, but it was like a
more of a community event,
a community carnival kind of thing. Like, it wasn't like an outreach event, and it was even less so than I thought. Like, we got there, and the booths that they had were like a real estate agent and a local
like your
shop,
typical like community, like one of the Ukaipa things.
Right. It was just like that, except it happened to be in the parking lot of the church. But it was, so it was funny. Like, they had advertised. I thought there was going to be more carnival type stuff too. So I thought the kids would have fun. They had a petting zoo, quote unquote, which was a horse, a pony, and a donkey.
Wow.
That was it. Like, that was the petting zoo, and so we didn't really do that because it was super hot. But it was fine. They had a couple food trucks, and the band was great. But the bummer for them is like they played first, and they went on at 3:55.
And it was in Chino, and it was like 100 degrees.
Chino, it was like 100. I think it was 104.
Oh my
gosh!
Because it was 100 in Reseda, and so I actually found out Reseda's a little bit cooler than because I just assumed everywhere in the valley is like death.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too. It wasn't. It was actually.
It wasn't as bad.
It was because it was when I left. When I left here, it was 105 in Ukaipa. When I got there, it was 99 degrees. I'm like, well, it's below 100. I'm not at least. And people that when I got there, like everybody in line was complaining. I'm like, it's actually hotter where I live, so I'm okay.
Well, it was slightly hotter than where we were. And
Cobra Kai Dojo, home of Daniel Russo, Reseda, California.
But to top it off, it was all on asphalt, and there was no shade.
Yeah, that's the worst.
So the stage, they did have shade over the band, like they had a little tarp over the band.
Because otherwise they would die.
Like they had a little thing over the sound booth, so Matthew and I like leaned in over the sound guy to kind of get in the shade a little bit. And Janelle just was with the kids off in the trees in the back because she was like, it was like way too hot. But the band was great. The bummer is super hot. They played first, and they're like, I don't know, just kind of like a cool indie rock type band. And all the rest of the bands they booked the rest of the day were like adult contemporary or like a little bit country or whatever. Like definitely targeted. So we were literally the only people that were there to watch them. Like,
oh man,
which I felt bad. I mean, so Janelle and the kids,
and you're saying some of these guys were from Stairwell, but they were huge for a while.
And other bands that
again, the band. It was so funny because I was talking about my How I Met Your Mother rewatch, and there was a Stairwell poster.
Yeah, like
that was the band.
And his other band is My Compatriots, which some people might doing pretty good in the indie scene and stuff. But they were fantastic. But there was a few other people around that were like running the place, but there was no one else watching them. And it was funny because before we went to the show on the little like event page on Facebook, they had a thing where they said, go listen to some of our songs on our SoundCloud page. Tell us like in the comments your favorite song. We'll pick the top 5 people and we'll give you like a free button at the show. She has these little hand painted buttons.
So you're like the only person
So I was the only one that did it. So like from the stage, she's like, well, thanks, Phil, for coming out. I guess you won one of the buttons, The kids were like, oh, is she talking about you, Daddy? Oh. So they're all excited and stuff. But they were amazing, though. And I got to hang out and talk to them afterwards and got the CD from them and stuff. And
what was the name again?
They're called B is Bridgie. B, like the letter B, is BRIDGIE. B is Bridgie.
Well, I'm sure at least they're the only band that has that name.
That was funny because I was looking up the other bands playing afterwards, and half of them I couldn't find on the internet because they're like so not Google.
Country Boys.
Yeah,
Good Old Boys.
They were.
Rock City.
One of them was called Not Okay, which I mean I guess that's a fine
name.
Yeah, but
you Google that.
You cannot find that. There's this Not Okay.
Even
band
if you put Not Okay Band or Not Okay Music,
nothing.
Like that's not gonna work.
So, but
people need to follow Brax's rules.
That's true.
That's like
Brax is very Googleable.
That's the number 1 rule.
Yep. So
Google your name before you make it your name. That will also save you from embarrassing lawsuits.
Like other bands that already have your band name.
Which happened to wasn't that some huge band? It was it was Scarlett Johansson's project. That it was a very it could have been a very simple Google this name,
Right.
and they immediately had to change their name. They had to reprint. They did a vinyl run without even checking, and they couldn't even release it. And you know how expensive that is. So I mean, I'm
Google
sure.
it. And I mean that goes for anything. If you're gonna do a podcast, I'm pretty sure you're the only radio BrendoMan out there. But check first.
It's a good idea.
But so they were really cool, and I think they're going to do a song for the Vaudeville Theater compilation, which we're working on.
Look at you all enterprising.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm telling you, it's really, really good. So so that was really cool. And, I've been working on doing the Vaudeville Theater stuff this week, getting some songs lined up. So it'll be cool.
You did a Brax on Friday?
Did Brax on Friday.
But not Monday. Remember when you said Monday was going to be the sure day and Friday? Do we have to change? I'm not changing that banner again.
No. I was working on actually the design for the stickers for our Kickstarter today when I would have normally been doing Brax, so.
All right. Well, you're doing Kickstarter stuff because we got to get that rolling.
Well, we got, for those who are Kickstarter backers, the second round of, the semi-final round, second to last round of voting is out there now, so.
Andres asked if he could do a write-in, which you said yes.
I said that's okay, because there's a few people that didn't get to respond in the first round. For whatever reason, if you didn't get to respond, I'll let you do a write-in. But the way this round is going to work is the ones that get the most votes go on to the next round. So if you do a write-in and no one else does, then it might not. But, you write it in, because who knows if other people do, or, rally up other people who are backers if you want to get them to write it in, that's cool.
You can go on the comments and try and do that.
Go on the Radio BrendoMan group if you want to.
Yeah.
But so the voting, and we'll keep that going at least until I hear from most people, probably a week or so, and then we'll do the final round and we'll be done. Did I show you the list of the stuff? We got a lot of good things. Several people said Peanut Butter Solution. Angus is in there. Return to Oz. A lot of other good ones. I don't know. Condor Man. Got some votes.
Because we're doing 2 this year.
We're doing 2 movies.
We did Batman last year.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 movies and 2 podcasts.
2 special shows.
All right.
Yeah, some good subjects for that. Couple requests for us to do music talk, which is cool. So yeah.
Yeah, I think you should. I definitely do a write-in.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, the idea of a scary movie is intriguing.
That is kind of a cool
We're
one.
both real wussies,
Yeah,
so it could be very humorous.
Yeah, okay, so speaking of that, we have kind of a conundrum here. Because our good friend Josh, who just did the VMAs, he's got his movie coming out. They're doing, screenings and stuff. He invited us to, I don't know.
On Friday.
To a screening of it.
I definitely can't go.
I can't. But I want to support him so much.
But that's like the only one that they're doing.
Yeah, but so...
Well, if you're in the Los Angeles area, they're doing a screening at the ArcLight.
Yeah.
But it's like a special, it's a one-off.
But I'm sure that...
It's at like 9:25 p.m.
Right.
on Friday night at the ArcLight Hollywood.
It's called... The movie's called
Contracted 2. But it's going to be on... oh my gosh, I did this last time.
What's the name of that thing?
It's on a network. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to look it up because I feel bad. Because also, I hate the conclusion to that. So they didn't even announce well, the winner. They did. It was like before the show.
Right.
And I'm like, you did best rock video before the show of the Video Music Awards?
Because rock doesn't even count anymore.
Like what the crap? Oh, it's on independent. It's on IFC. It's gonna be on IFC. So
you'll be able to like watch them and support it later.
It's gonna be on IFC midnight. Contracted 2. Hey, Evil Mike, like you're a horror guy. Did you see Contracted?
Yeah, I think that was on IFC, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, it says right there, IFC.
But this is 2.
After seeing strong VOD returns from last year's horror flick, Contracted. So anyway.
So the sequel, but Josh even said you don't really have to watch.
Yeah.
The first one.
Now here's my other thing though, because again, even if we can't go to the screening, I want to support him. I don't know if I can take it. Can I like just pay for a streaming of it or something and not like, because it's like for those that aren't familiar with it.
It's a zombie movie.
Yeah, but it's like super gory.
You can't handle the gore.
I don't know. Like I don't know if I can do it.
Well, our friend Josh Forbes he directed the sequel, and I think it's gonna be cool. It looks cool, and so you should check that out if you're gonna be in Los Angeles. They're doing some screenings around, so check your local theaters. But it is gonna be on IFC midnight.
Yeah.
The name of the movie is Contracted Phase 2.
Yeah.
So the original one was just called Contracted. I've heard it's not that. The first one.
The first one
is not that great.
This one has been getting good.
Good reviews.
In fact, specifically
Fangoria.
Yeah.
Well, they did a Fangoria screening.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of the horror. Well, you were saying specifically.
Well, yeah. I was just gonna say like just some really good.
Some of the
horror
sites
type. Yeah, folks have been very like excited.
Fangoria was really into it.
Yeah.
So
very good.
This is Contracted Phase 2.
Contracted Phase 2, and Josh Forbes is our friend who's the director.
Yeah.
And
this is his first feature.
He's done a lot of music videos.
Yeah.
But this is his first.
He did again, Shut Up and Dance, which everybody's probably heard that song if they haven't seen the video. But he did that video. It's a really great video.
Yeah.
And he did make it to the VMAs. Posted a lot of crazy pictures and videos. Really funny stuff. You can check him out at Best Josh Forbes. Because I think there's multiple.
It's the best one.
So his is Best Josh Forbes on Twitter. Just search, if you Google Josh Forbes director.
Yeah, it should come
and
up.
all this stuff. Did
you listen to him on the radio at all? He was on the radio.
I listened to his Kevin and Bean. He did a great job on there. He was on Carson Daly.
I didn't hear that, but I knew about it.
He was on a bunch of podcasts.
Yeah.
So he went a little viral with his whole, because he was shining a light on these directors that didn't even get to go. They were nominated for awards, but didn't get to go to the ceremony.
So do you think that like MTV was like, screw this guy, we're gonna like announce this thing before it even happens?
I don't know.
That'll
maybe
teach him to like
what if
speak
they
out
did
against
that?
MTV. Like, what if that's what happened?
I don't
know.
What
if he stirred up the hornet's nest?
Well,
a little
good.
Bit there?
Like,
that's funny.
It is pretty stupid though that like Best Rock Video isn't even on the show.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Like, that makes no sense.
Well,
all right, take it easy, Mike. It's good seeing you.
Mike's gonna go watch some Wes Craven movies.
Yeah, R.I.P. Wes Craven. Talk about that later on. So check that out, and then check that is that. And my favorite video that he did is the Offspring video where it's like the clown fight club.
Yeah.
It's really.
Well, I still have a special spot in my heart for these Spivvies, of course.
Oh yeah.
But I also really love that one by that band, The Myriad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw that one with like the monster living in the forest.
That was good. He also had the Submarines?
Yeah, he did the Submarines.
He did
so many.
A ton. I mean, his because he even said like he was Bareilles? I forgot her name, but that one where like the love song Or she put the coin in the piano. Like before this, he was the whatever that guy. Yeah. That was his big one. I mean, he did the Fray and like sort of stuff, but they weren't like.
He did one for Miley Cyrus's brother, his band.
And I didn't even know she had a brother.
Yeah, like apparently he had like a I don't know, pop band or whatever.
Billy Ray was really trying to.
No, it's great. Like he did it in an old theater in LA, and he just hired a bunch of street performers to come in and do like a dance off, like in this theater. That's really good too.
Does a lot of cool stuff like that.
So
check that out, Josh Forbes. We need to get him on the show.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Mike Mason shared the link on my timeline.
So you did.
I just want to see. Oh, talking about Wes Craven.
Yeah. Well, we have some letters, I think, right?
We do.
We should read some letters.
Yes.
Reader mail.
Yeah, because Mike used to take me to horror movies and laugh at me for freaking out.
So I'm not the first one to show you scary movies and enjoy it a lot.
Mike was definitely like Mike. I remember Mike's favorite quote was like he's because like I know he did last summer, like especially on rewatching. It's not good.
No.
But I remember even at the time, Mike's like, my favorite part of I know he did last summer was the part where Brendan screamed real loud, like he didn't even care about the movie. Anyways, so reader mail, we got Denver. I got it. I think you're talking about my email because he was replying. Okay. Sorry about not getting back. The week just got out of hand. I'll just get at you through here. So now we have an email and he just replies to that one so that it goes through. So we have a direct line to Denver. Your shows are memory-jarring experiences. Well, I'm glad. That's a good way. That's like our pull quote.
Yeah.
Memory-jarring experiences. To the subject of smelling things. In elementary, we would get scratch and sniff stickers for good work and for bad. Well, this is horrible. I just read this. For good work and for bad. Well, since I didn't really do homework or do well on a test, I would tend to receive the stinky stickers.
What? That's
stinky
horrible.
Stickers for bad work. You stink.
Oh my god.
That teacher should be fired.
I mean, I remember they had he says skunk here, but I remember
thinking about now, I'm sure it led to my liking of the scent of skunk.
Oh my god.
Because he got it on his homework and he was smelling it.
They had like rotten egg ones, I remember.
But can you imagine a teacher being like,
no,
you get a bad, you smell, smelly
got
sticker.
Away with a lot of stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Like that's
smelly
crazy.
sticker. Or even like, I feel like even now, like a teacher probably couldn't get away with a frowny face.
No. People freak out about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I got the frowny face. I remember getting the frowny face and being real sad.
Yeah. Well, positive reinforcement is a lot more effective. Just research shows, that's the encouraging a kid in what they're good at is way better than
how do you think it feels to be told you're dumb?
Yeah.
When you're 6 years old. How do you think it feels?
You got the A track.
What track do you think I got?
Track. What track do you...
It's exactly.
Yep. Yeah. So, man, well, I'm sorry.
My daughter's a track one girl.
I believe it, but that's really sad.
Now that I'm thinking about that, that's my favorite scene in the whole show.
Oh yeah,
because I think that sums up that show just so well. All right,
freaking geeks.
Again, like the fact that they survive, like they can make it through, like that's because they got a lot. Because you just hear about it, like they got a lot of crap from the network because it's like that was like a positive outcome on the show.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. Oh gosh, I love Freaks and Geeks so much. It's the best. It's the best in the world.
I agree.
If you've been listening to the show and you still haven't watched Freaks and Geeks or you're on the fence, stop it, right? Stop.
Pause the show. Go watch all 18 episodes of Freaks and Geeks and then come back.
But the episode we are talking about is tests and breasts.
Yes.
And that to me, I've seriously
Lindsay helps him cheat.
Because there's that, and then there's the whole geeks and the porn thing, and and then probably Tom Wilson's finest moment on the show. I still want to know what was happening.
Yep.
Because I'm sure it was either really dirty or something, or just really funny.
Because he got him. The actor actually was laughing, legitimately laughing. So whatever he was saying.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
That would have been my question. Show. I would have asked that, but Tom Wilson wasn't at Paley Fest.
Right. What did you say?
Anyways.
Okay,
wow.
so back to Denver's letter.
I had met and have an autographed photo of Jenny Garth. Oh, wow. When she was at some comic book show in the late 90s at the Overland Park Convention Center. I went just for that. I would have gone just for that. I don't think she does. She's not doing comic book shows anymore. That's Probably for not. Sure. Well, now she got half of Peter Facinelli's money.
Oh?
Because he like dumped her, and he had Twilight money.
I didn't know who that is.
Oh, well, you know him if you saw him. I got to show you.
Okay.
He's in Can't Hardly Wait, but he's in a lot of stuff. That dude.
Oh, okay. I recognize him.
So he, this guy, if I was in, and then this man cheated on Jenny Garth.
How could he?
Who he had children with. Like, how could you do that?
I don't get it.
I guess that's what Twilight money does to you.
I guess so. It's that whole, what's that website that just like got exposed? Everyone was
Ashley Madison.
Ashley Madison. Was he on that?
Oh my gosh, probably.
That's nuts. I mean, whatever.
Well, the funniest, speaking of Ashley, although this is my quick Ashley Madison,
okay.
I just read an article about how they said that their like new accounts have like skyrocketed. I'm like, you have to be like some special kind of idiot to now sign up. Like, what are you doing? We know they don't care about security.
Right. Both for your credit card and for your like your identity.
Oh, and also, I mean, the amount of like what were obvious work emails and then government emails, right. All this stuff. Like I'm sorry, but if you sign up for something like that with your work and or government email, like you are a moron.
Yep.
But that's as much as I'm gonna say, because again, my whole stance on that is we should not be we should not be making fun of this. We should not be celebrating this because one minute it's Ashley Madison, the next minute it's your Twitter account, it's your because we should not be reinforcing hackers in any circumstance because it's you're next. That's basically my whole like you are next. Everybody needs to like dial it back just a little bit. Although I don't know, that Josh Duggar thing just seemed too priceless.
Yeah, there has been some moments of gold out of it, but
it's still
sad overall and just bad. So
because the next thing it's going to be everybody's email. Can you imagine a website where you can just search anybody and then it's all their emails? Because that's what could happen.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like, I mean, I got nothing to hide. Like, you shouldn't have to have that attitude.
Right.
Like, privacy is, I don't know, whatever. I'll go on a whole thing that I saw. Okay, this is weird.
So back to Denver.
Controversial opinion.
Okay.
I side with myself when I put, at least he admits that he's
in the minority.
When I put Colin Quinn first in my top 3 SNL Weekend Update anchors.
Wow.
My second is Norm. Like, Norm was great, but while Tina and Amy round off my top 3, no Dan Aykroyd, no Chevy Chase, no Jane Curtin, no, I mean, Dennis Miller, no.
Yeah, well, for me, gosh, I mean, it's tough because Norm would definitely be up there for me.
No Seth Meyers.
Seth Meyers great, but then you got
no
Chevy,
Colin and Michael.
And then
I like Colin and Michael.
Kevin Nealon, I have a special
Kevin
place
Nealon
in my heart
is pretty great too.
So I don't know. Colin would not be anywhere near.
What about that dude? What was the guy from like '84?
Charles Rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad, but no. Although he was great in Earth Girls Are Easy, so that's
But anything that he was on in SNL was just bad.
That whole era of SNL.
Well, they were trying to. He was supposed to be the new Piscopo.
Yeah.
And he was not.
No.
Piscopo wasn't. I don't know. I go back and like Piscopo's better than I remember, but he's still like, again, like especially without Eddie Murphy.
He was the best of what they had.
But like him and Eddie Murphy together were great.
Yeah.
And he definitely had his moments. But I mean, because he was filling in the Bill Murray shoes, and like it's always that whole period must have been difficult for the next guy. Because I mean, when you had those guys and you're trying to fill in, like I don't know how that would, but I mean, especially like the Dick Ebersol or like those seasons are just like, but when you think about it on paper, it makes no sense because you had like Harry Shearer, Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, Billy Crystal. Like when you think about the people that they brought in, like on paper, that's the best cast period ever, but it didn't work.
And there's moments that are funny throughout it, but it it was not.
Well, I think it also showed how integral Lorne is to that show.
Well, and how just being a good comedian doesn't always translate to doing live television.
Well, you even, especially
comedy,
when you listen to, when you read the books, like Shearer and those guys, like we did not, like it did not work. Like I hated it. Like I didn't like it.
Because Christopher Guest, I mean, I remember like getting my hands on like some episodes because it's hard to find those for a long time.
Yeah.
And like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna see Christopher Guest, and I'm like, oh, like it's it's not very funny. It's not very good.
And then because then you even had like Anthony Michael Hall and Robert Downey Jr. like at the height of their young like youth careers, and like they like it's so
But I have to tell you, Colin Quinn is definitely not up there for me.
He's like at the bottom. For
and
me,
Dennis Miller's probably like right above him. There. He's that whole like tough guy. I don't know what you call it, like the New York dude guy. It's not my favorite funny thing.
Yeah.
Kevin Nealon would be up there. Chevy Chase, Stan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin. Not Colin. And of course Norm. Well, there's a lot of great ones I couldn't pick. Because Amy and Tina are fantastic as well.
That movie that they're in looks like
it looks really good.
Looks really good. Although I just got a movie screening invite to like a drama with Tina Fey in it. And it's got like a bunch of other people that sound good. It's like a drama though.
Okay.
Of course it's a movie screening. I still get movie screenings with like stuff in Orange. I'm like, I try to change my address, but I don't think they do test screen. I don't think they bother.
Yeah,
I figured like this could be a good, because this is like it's like testing in the Midwest basically.
Yeah, we're definitely a different market here.
That was like I remember there was a summer when I was near Kansas City, and that's where they test. That's like the biggest testing city in the country,
Makes sense.
And they test everything there. And I went. There was a week where I went to a test screening. Sometimes I went to 2 in one day because they're just testing all the time.
I get all the Bible movies.
I had to go around to different theaters because after a while they'll start recognizing you and they won't give you the flyers. But because
that guy,
because they can just pull because it's basically like you're getting. That's like how you test the Heartland.
Right. Oh yeah.
Did you hear about that Bible movie, by the way? They finished second in the country.
I didn't know existed.
I guarantee you, it was like mega churches bought all the tickets.
Yep. Well, you notice whenever
Ralph even made a joke because he's like they don't need to publicize. They have a secret, and then Ralph's like, what's the secret, Ralph? Ralph's like, it's Jesus. He tells them to go to the movie. Like he was just doing a real funny little bit.
If you look at like Box Office Mojo and you see like the daily, like it always spikes on Sunday. So they always underestimate the what it's going to make throughout the weekend because they don't ever count on like that big after church.
I think it's called Flight Plan or Fight Plan or
no, it's War
Room.
Yeah,
it's about relationships.
I have no idea.
Sounds awful.
No idea.
Just Ralph's description of it made me want to puke. Oh, it's about how prayer heals relationships.
That kind of war. I got you.
Yes.
All I know is because I obsessively look at Box Office Mojo, and I looked like yesterday, and I'm like,
finished number 2.
What? I didn't even know this movie existed. What is this?
Oh,
I mean, on one side, it makes you think like, man, now I know what kind of movie I should write. But
well,
then
exactly.
I feel like, I would
all the studios that have no, because I guarantee you that was like even Ralph even said he's like this was a calculated move by one of the studios.
It probably cost him $500,000 to make or something, and it would open at like $11 million.
Yeah,
I mean, right there,
money.
So, but at what cost? Like,
did you like the Mass Saints Facebook page? By the way,
no, I don't
they've been posting some pretty epic status updates. I would like to
see that. See, and that one,
but they're super. Know. Oh, I think it's gonna be horrible because are
they marketing it like?
Oh yeah,
the church crowd?
Oh yeah. Well, the Facebook updates are like the Lord will strengthen you in your fights and just all this stupid. And they are milking the Piper thing for all it's worth. Gosh. And because it's his last movie, and they are There's gonna be so many angry wrestling fans. So many.
So bad.
So many.
Well, I'm very curious to see because I love bad movies.
It's going to be horrible.
But it's got to be like bad enough that it's like
I don't know. I don't think it. I think it might just be bad.
That movie that I watched was that bad.
I don't know if this is going to be.
But a lot of these like the Christian ones that come
out
are just bad, and it makes me sad.
I mean, as I've always said, the only real successful that I know of, like the most successful, I'll say, I'm not going to be too mean here, but by far the most successful Biola film graduate does not make anything like that. He makes horror movies.
Yeah. Well, other Biola graduates, speaking of which.
So all the successful Biola graduates I know make horror movies.
Yeah.
Because the Emily Rose guy, like he did Hellraiser. He did a Hellraiser movie.
His next movie.
What?
He's doing Doctor Strange.
Well, there you go.
So I mean,
that's how you move up.
Yeah.
You do the horror movie. So again,
stuff that he's been posting,
it's really good.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Like, so he didn't, and I'm sure he's gotten all kinds of offers to do those horrible Christian cheeseball. Because again, this is a filmmaker who is a Christian, but he doesn't like that. That doesn't have to
equal horrible. Now, and this is not necessarily Christian filmmakers, but the one type of movies that I do enjoy that come out of that scene are like the biblical epics, like to a certain degree. Like I like Noah.
Yeah.
I didn't see Exodus, but stuff like that can be entertaining.
Exodus looks super boring.
It probably, I didn't see it, but that type of movie to me is like, if you're gonna go blatant Christian content,
big.
Go like for a big epic. Then at least that's something I can get behind.
Go 10 Commandments.
Right.
These stupid relationship movies are they're just so preachy and like.
I mean, I'm not saying it couldn't be done. I'm not saying you couldn't have a movie.
I don't know, man.
I haven't seen it yet.
That's such a fine line.
I haven't seen it yet.
Like, because the moment you're preaching to the choir, and then you're just taking other Christians' money and
right, and again, like, you got that weird dichotomy of like, are you doing something good for a cause really, or are you just taking advantage of that money? It's why, like, we talked about this earlier, like, because I was in film school at Biola and along with Janelle, and like I had such great respect for Janelle because her student film she made was like a romantic.
Because I remember going to that film festival and it was like, dude, some of like the one that won was like this really like it was too for me. I was just grown because it was this like super anti-abortion movie, like just the abortion one.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then there was just some other. Like,
but all of them were just
there is just some
not even if they're not controversial. Or
they're
whatever,
overtly
preachy. Very preachy. And then Janelle did like a rom-com. I mean, literally, it was a romantic
just a straight-up romantic comedy. No like message or like.
It was fun. It was funny. I like let her use all the pop box stuff. So the soundtrack was great.
Great soundtrack, great movie, and she like didn't get anything. I was so mad.
It was just ignored, and to me, like I had like a lot of respect for her.
Yeah.
My one film that I did was the closest I came to like directing one is I did a short for one of my classes. I think it was like 15, 20 minutes, and it was a murder mystery. But the whole thing was you'll get. Has ever showed this to you?
No.
It was called Glue the movie, and
Glue the movie.
The whole. I have it. Someday I'll show it. It's this guy, the serial killer, is going around and killing people with this blue glue, and like the guy, it's like a hard-boiled detective goes around and investigates to solve it. It was Aaron McKay was the detective, and he goes around and like tracks down, and finally he gets to like this warehouse, this laboratory, and the mad scientist tries to kill him with the blue glue, and he defeats him and stuff. I mean, it's ridiculous. The big stunt we had was
sounds like Brewster McCloud.
It is. I mean, it's just so bad. Mark Ritzmo was the bad guy, and he like. We rigged up a thing where he could like slide in just a little bit, like a little bit of a stunt, and like jumped out at him, and like that was the big moment. And then the end of the movie, Aaron the detective is like floating in the pool, and he gets a call for a new case, and he looks in the camera and winks.
Wow.
And that was the end of my movie.
Wow.
This was like that was like my freshman
year.
I want
you to like produce some of those scripts that you showed me.
Yeah.
Like those super dark, like messed up scripts.
I have. Well, I wrote those as short stories, but
those short stories.
Yeah,
but turn those into scripts.
Yeah,
because that was for your creative writing.
For creative writing class, yeah. And again, there was 4 years in between when I wrote Glue the movie. And you want to know? Okay, so.
But was that another one where people were writing like super cheesy, like?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I mean, there was a couple people.
You wrote one like it was like this, like it was basically like a Coen Brothers.
Yeah.
Like it was really dark.
Yeah, that was. Like the serial killer,
the
midget serial killer thing, yeah.
And then like just a really depressing one.
Where she tries to like kill herself
Yeah.
and the deer like saves her or something.
Well, there was that one, and there was the dude with the waitress.
Oh yeah, the homeless guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, so that's the stuff I was turning in. Then a lot of them were like, oh, I prayed for this to happen and blah blah blah. And it just, to me, like, good storytelling shouldn't need to have like a, if you have a message you want to get across, it should be in a story.
Mario just brought up The Big Picture. That is a great mockumentary. Kevin Bacon. You haven't seen it?
No.
I could have sworn. No, you showed me and God Spoke.
Yeah.
This one, it's like a parody of like, it's not a mockumentary. It's just like, I guess it's not a mockumentary. It's just about a guy trying to make it in Hollywood.
Okay.
It just really makes fun of the whole process.
Okay, so the last thing on this, and then I'll move on. But the blue glue one, where he's murdering everyone. Mm-hmm. Oh, and so when they die, like the blue like spills out of their mouth. Right?
Yeah, I think I have seen this.
The reason that I wrote that, because I was like, I had to write a script for my screenwriting thing, and in my desk I had this like bottle of blue glue that I had gotten like from like I don't know, one of those back to school pouch things that they gave us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, blue glue. I guess I'll write a story about that.
Wow.
Yep.
That was your big
that
inspiration.
was my big inspiration for that one.
Wow. All right, so going back to the letter.
Back to Denver's letter.
And I recommend the Goldbergs. They touch on everything from your childhood: Garbage Pail Kids, The Goonies, Nintendo Power Glove, and Fireball Island. I do agree. Every time I have watched it, I'm like, this is really great.
That's the one with Jeff.
Jeff Garland. And what's her face from Reno 911? She's the mom.
Oh, okay.
The blonde lady. She was also in that real estate movie, which was actually really good.
Another good little mockumentary.
Oh my gosh! Now I'm thinking about that. That was really funny.
What was that one called? Listed or?
Yeah, something like that. Delisted or?
No, but that's not what that is.
That's not right.
But anyway, it was good. Real estate mockumentary.
Yeah, it was really funny. But so I agree, and also like they go legit. The Dinosaur Dracula. Actually, he wrote a whole thing about the toys in the Goldbergs, and then Evan Goldberg replied to like comments. It was like, yeah, those are, I brought in a lot of that stuff, or like he thought like those are my toys, like, and how he makes sure it's like completely accurate. Cool. So like it's very attention to detail.
It's not. Is it a laugh track thing? Are we talking about?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I hope not.
Because it's like the Wonder Years, but it's an '80s family, and Patton Oswalt's like the Daniel Stern.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. Well,
it's like it is basically. I mean, as I described it originally, it's like the Wonder Years, but for us.
Right.
I watched an episode and I was like, I thought there was parts of it that I thought were really cheesy. Some of it was like so on point, but then like there was this whole part where like the grandpa was trying to get into like ask out this girl, and it's like typical dirty grandpa. I'm like, I have seen this a million times, but like it's still like there's enough funny part. And Jeff Garland's really funny.
I love Jeff Garland.
I just listened, and I guess I didn't just, but like on WTF he was talking about it and how like he had to, because he's always in his boxers, like that's kind of the running thing, and how there have been times where they've had to edit it because the censor said there was too much showing down there, and he's like, my dad walked around. Everybody's dad. This is everybody's dad. Right. Like that's going back to Freezing Geeks. That's one of my other favorite scenes is when Lindsay and Sam are having like a very serious, like, do you think mom and dad would ever cheat on mom? And right as they said that, he walks in with like his underwear and like his suspenders on, and they just start laughing at eeach other like we are total idiots. Like he's like, what's so funny? And he's like, and you're like, yeah, because it's like, no, of course not.
Everybody's dad walked around in underwear.
All right, so Mark Bolton writes, hey, BrendoManiacs, Mark Bolton here. Loving episode number 182. You guys discussed the Blair Witch Project. I saw it in the theater in Edmonton, Canada. Wow, Edmonton.
Wow, that's cool.
Then stayed the night in an unfamiliar house. I kept worrying that a Blair Witch would come get me. Phil, which issue of Cable did you sell for $20? It was actually an issue of New Mutants.
Yeah,
it was the first appearance of Cable.
And it's the original issue, so it had the red background.
Because there was a
reprint.
Reissue, yes. There was like a second printing.
That's so I'm curious. Give me your thoughts on that. Did I do good? Should I have kept it?
Well, wasn't in like perfect condition.
No, but it was in good shape.
And if you had got it graded, but then you have to.
But yeah, who knows? So I'm curious though, since Mark knows way more about it, tell us what you think.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. Brendo, when you install people's computer stuff for your job, you should have a little candy bowl on your cart or whatever. Then you'll be known as the candy guy, and everyone will like you more. Like you even more. This reminds me of that episode of How I Met Your Mother where Barney was trying to get Marshall to be a guy because there was like fantasy football guy, food guy. There was he's like, you don't want to be massage guy because he was like,
walking up.
And so like I guess I could. That is a good idea. Have like a little bowl of candy, but I'm just afraid I would just sit there and eat it all.
Where's the candy?
I'm out.
Or like the lemonade stand where like you keep giving out all the free stuff and realize like people are just coming to get the free stuff.
But I mean like because I bring my cart and like I was like, hey, while you're waiting for your computer, have some candy. Like
but you might also get like a Kevin from The Office who comes up and just eats it all.
Oh, candy guy.
It's free, right? That's a good idea though.
That is a good idea. So thank you. On to the Pen Pal segment. So here we go.
Pen Pal.
Dear Craig from the Res, thank you for responding to my Pen Pal request. My absolute favorite color is green. My phone case is a great shamrock green color that my boss always comments on for some reason. And my wedding ring is made from a special type of wood that's naturally a bright green color. Wow, Mark really loves green.
But also like a wooden wedding ring.
There you go. I do not own any dogs. Oh, yeah, because they were asking about the pets.
But the pet preference.
I'm more of a cat person. I have 2 cats named Ripley and Newt.
Nice.
The Alien movies are very important in our households. Do you have dogs? And what's your favorite color? Also, what are your top 3 favorite comedy movies? It's good.
It's good.
It's good. I like this.
Conversation
I like this dialogue that we're all privy to.
It's good.
We need some other participants.
I love it, though.
So if people want to participate, pick your regular and ask them a question.
Ask your regular Pen Pal question.
And then you can start it, get it going. Well, Brendo, I think it's time for me to go. Love the show. Hashtag let the cookies cool.
Nice.
Stop encouraging Phil.
Dude, I was working on the stickers today.
You don't even have a Twitter account. You don't even know how hashtags work.
Sure I do. Then that says everyone that's a good thing that I made up there.
Oh. You have royalties?
I got a hashtag, yeah.
You got a hashtag.
How do I cash in on those again? Like when do I get
You go to the hashtag store.
Okay.
And you tell them
I
am hashtag let the cookies cool.
I have 50 hashtags.
Yeah.
Can I please get my money?
Get my money.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly how it works.
Paid for hashtagpayment.com?
Yes.
Okay.
Mario writes, he's got a few here. Previous letter. See, I actually love this.
Okay. Referring to his
Mario has thought about this.
Okay.
Because we were talking about the JFK thing and what we would do.
Stop it,
so he says, save JFK by burning down the book depository and light a large delivery truck with the bed full of old tires on fire directly under the train overpass. See, he's studied the area.
Okay.
Closing and diverting traffic from the Daily Plaza area.
So eliminating a second shooter.
Giant diversion, like giant distraction.
So they're also at that point not going to be having him out uncovered anyway.
Yeah, it would just cause. So and that would be a relatively that's doable.
Yeah.
Set the building on fire.
You could do that.
Just start some fires. Yeah. And not get caught.
But
it's the 60s. They're not paying attention.
Yeah, people lit stuff on fire. They burn their trash in the backyard.
So you just burn some tires.
Yeah, no big deal.
No problem. You just all those tire trucks. You just find all those bed of those old tires. They're probably it's the 60s. They're just sitting around. It's Texas.
60s.
Yeah.
You can do anything you want.
Burn some tires.
Mario's asking in the chat, is Brax up to date? Stop making stickers. Vacation over.
Brax is up to date as of Friday.
Yep. So there's a new one up there.
You can find out for yourself. BraxComics.com.
Yep, it's good.
Number 2, this is also interesting because this actually, once I read it, led me down a whole rabbit hole.
Okay.
Because I think Mario's onto something with this.
Okay.
After I did some research.
You were talking about this last week a little bit.
OJ conspiracy theory. Kardashian's lawyer father was part of the defense team, so he wouldn't have to testify against OJ because he might be called in as a character witness.
Interesting.
Because the client lawyer privilege, like you don't have to test it, like that kept him out of that witness stand. And here's the other thing. The more I read, if anybody helped, because OJ had to have had help covering this up.
Okay.
And there was a huge amount of unaccounted for time between when we saw between murders and that Bronco.
Right.
There's a pretty huge amount of time. Enough time to get rid of evidence and do other things. And it seems very likely, because they were good friends, you're OJ, who are you going to call in this instance? You're going to call your lawyer friend who did not go to the cops. And so now, I mean, honestly, a lot of reports that I read going off of factual evidence, Kardashian's kind of implicit in this whole freaking thing. So it's even worse.
Wow.
Like, he may have helped OJ.
How deep was this rabbit hole?
Pretty darn deep. I mean, I'm fairly certain that Kardashian had, and also like he didn't do big criminal things. Like, it also was weird that the more I looked into it, like, he didn't do hardly any. It was mostly Dershowitz and that other guy, and or whoever that guy's.
So why was he on the team?
Like,
anyway?
why was he even on the? It all makes sense, man. It all ties together.
It's a good theory.
It's a good theory. Good job, Mario.
There's some good conspiracies going on.
Number 3, and I also agree with this because I remember going to the theater to see this, and then we actually left and watched another movie. Dangerous Minds was a very boring snore, which I agree because, again, we left, watched another movie. We snuck into it because I think it was rated R, and then we snuck back out of it.
Now, what I remember, and it's been a long time since I saw it, but I just remember it was one of those ones where you get mad at the actions of the main actor, like, because Michelle Pfeiffer, she's working in the inner city, and I remember she goes.
Not a very good teacher.
She goes out in the middle of the night to go
the
help
kid's house
to his house, which is totally inappropriate.
That's isn't that like borderline illegal?
Well, yeah, I mean it's highly inadvisable if nothing else. And then she gets killed while she's walking around in the dark or something.
She doesn't.
Somebody does.
A student does.
I just remember she did a lot of things like that where you're like, that's a horrible idea. Why? She definitely was not. There's other ones like Stand and Deliver where you feel like, okay, he was an inspirational, whether or not the movie was that exciting. You get why.
And also he's a good teacher and he's a real person.
Right.
This was like a made up person
and
he's doing things that teachers would never do.
Right, exactly. It's probably how cops feel watching movies about cops. Oh, that's not how it goes. Having
it was
knowing a teacher.
Again, as I told this story earlier, it's like watching Hunt for Red October with your dad and uncle who are both in the Navy, and your uncle especially who was on a submarine for 3 years.
Saying they did that wrong.
Just being like, this is wrong, nope. The way they're doing this, it would not make that noise, it would make this noise. Oh, that's not what that looks like. And I immediately was like, I'm out. 9-year-old Brendo, not having it.
And all the talking.
That movie was so boring, you guys. But then you watch it later.
So great.
It's amazing. But 9-year-old, nope.
Well,
you know what isn't nope? What is yes?
Yes? What is yes?
Stitcher is absolutely yes.
Yes, it is.
That is true. Coolio did cash that check, even though he was super against
Paradise.
Weird Al.
Not Snoop Dogg. He did not get paid for Gangster's Paradise.
I'm glad that you learned.
I learned that now. And learning is growing.
Well, you can also learn a lot by listening to Stitcher and all kinds of podcasts on Stitcher.
That's right, and it's free.
Go to radiobrendo.com. If you don't have a Stitcher account yet, sign up. Click that link. Use the code BrendoMan. If you haven't signed up, I still don't even know if they're still using the codes.
Well,
but whatever.
If they don't, that's all right.
It's still cool.
But still, it's a good way to listen to it.
Subscribe to our show. Subscribe to all the Benview Network shows. Thumbs up. Review. Comment. It's cool.
It's nice of you.
You can listen. I listen on my, I'll listen on my phone, and then I come home. I listen to my browser. It picks right back up where I left off. No downloading. No extra software. You got the app on your phone. It's free. And then on the web, it's just go to Stitcher.com. Sign in with your Facebook account, or you can create your own account on there if you don't like tying things to Facebook. But I like having it's all one thing. I don't care.
Someone hacks it.
Whatever.
They're gonna get into your.
Whatever. I use two-factor authentication on my Facebook account so that people can't do that.
Okay.
Anything that if there's an option for two-factor, I use it because that will stop my PayPal, my Google.
What is two-factor? Should I know about
You
this?
should be using it because basically once you put in your password, which people can get that,
right?
Then it asks you for a code, which is usually for Google. There's actually an app and it generates a code on your and then you type in that code and then it logs you in. So if somebody gets your password, they still can't get in because they don't have that code.
Huh.
So that's why it's two-factor.
So I should
Same thing with PayPal. Let me tell you, out of all this, I know people that keep getting their email hacked, and I'm like, turn on two-factor because I've had my email hacked, I've had my PayPal hacked, but since I've turned on two-factor, no, I have not, because with PayPal you can get, I think they actually will give you like a token thing, like it's a little thing that generates code, or they'll just send you a text message with your code.
So then you can put it,
and then you put the code in. Facebook, same thing. It sends me a text message.
Interesting.
Just because I don't like anytime there's a hack and you got to change your password, I don't have to because I got two-factor. They can put in my password all they want. They're not getting in.
They don't have the code.
They don't have the code. And it's nearly impossible to spoof the code because of the way it works. RSA keys and such. So, yeah. All right, so that's Stitcher. Be sure to listen to all the Benview Network podcasts. Go to BenviewNetwork.com. Listen to all those podcasts. Benson's Boombox, Benview on Spielberg, Comic Nerds Unite, Dinner Party Small Talk, Extra Damage, which that's going to be big right now because Josh
he's at PAX right now, yeah.
I think it's over a little bit.
Well, yeah, but
talking about PAX, you want to get all of this to PAX? Lots of stuff going on. Shovel Knight amiibos.
Yeah.
Crazy. All kinds of stuff.
More stuff that
Flagons and Dragons. Friday Night Film Fights. Grissom on the Run. Matt and Brendo's Wrestling Show. Midnight Marinara. Nerd's Eye View. Pick Your Path. The Choose Your Own Adventure podcast. Picture Start. Pillage Cast. Popsicles. Shut Up Leonard. And Star Wars Nerds Unite. Check out all those shows. And while you're checking out all those shows, maybe it'll inspire you to start your own podcast. Maybe you need a web host. Maybe you want to have your pen pal website. Maybe you want to have a blog about Marmaduke.
You could.
Marmaduke without Marmaduke?
Yeah, that's
$1 million idea.
There it is, right there.
Because that Garfield guy, I think he did pretty well for himself. Right. So there you go. We gave you an idea to start your website. When you want to start that website, go to dreamhost.com.
Maybe we should start Marmaduke with Garfield.
Marmaduke with Garfield? That'd just be double. I love lasagna. Oh, I'm hungry all the time. I'm gonna eat all that.
I act like a person.
Oh, hey, good. They're the same.
Yeah, except Marmaduke's like hyper.
It's true.
And Garfield is laid back.
Is Odie Marmaduke?
Odie is the Marmaduke. Who's the Garfield then?
There's no Garfield.
I don't think Marmaduke's thought that far through.
What if instead of Odie it was Marmaduke?
This is all good material for someone's website that's hosted on DreamHost.
Dreamhost.com. Use the promo code Radio BrendoMan at checkout. On your order, you will save $50. That's not percent. That's not because you might spend $10 to get 50% off. That's $5.
Yeah.
We are giving you $50 off
a lot of dollars.
Your order if you save promo code Radio BrendoMan. Use it at the checkout. You'll also get a free domain. Let's say, because DreamHost already has an existing special, if you sign up for 1 year of hosting, you get a free domain. Well, if you use our code, Radio BrendoMan, not only will you save $50, you'll get an additional free domain registration. So you'll be checking out with 2 free domain names.
That's a fantastic
That's how you start your web empire, everybody. Yep. That's how you do it.
Marmaduke without Marmaduke and Marmaduke with Garfield.
Once you're living in that web empire with all that fat web empire money, you can spend it on an Amazon Prime subscription, which, let's say, even though you got that money, but you're still not quite sure, because you're like, I only have a medium-sized web empire, still not quite rolling in dough. Can I try out this Amazon Prime that I've been hearing about so much? Well, yes, now you can. You get a 30-day free trial, Amazon Prime. Go to radiobrendo.com, click that Amazon Prime link.
Get a lot of good music. I've actually been using the Amazon Prime Music a lot because they did a little thing where if you used it and tried it out, they give you $4 credit towards their digital store. So I did it, and I got my $4 credit. Then I bought more stuff with it.
I was listening to all the Mortal Kombat soundtracks the other day because there was that really awesome like oral history of the movie, and then it reminded me about how much I used to love those soundtracks. Like I had the one that they don't have on Amazon Prime Music, although you can order. I almost ordered the CD because it's like $1, and I finally figured out what's wrong with my CD-ROM drive, so I got that working.
Okay.
It was like a quick little driver setting. All I would have had to do was Google it, and because it's been busted for like seriously like years. Like I haven't. I'm just like I guess I won't even look at CDs anymore.
Okay.
But now I can. See, I got my little stack. I gotta listen. I gotta go through those. I haven't done it yet. But so anyway, but the one that I wanted is the arcade game soundtrack that they made like before the movies. It's actually where that Mortal Kombat song came from. They actually originally the only way you could get it ended up being released in record stores, which is where I actually bought my copy at Lose Records.
Okay.
Back when I was in high school, 14-year-old Brendo went to Lose Records and bought this. But the original way you would get it was actually during the what do they call that, the when they try to get you to come play that mode. There's a specific name for it, like the advertising mode. They try and get you to play the game. Anyways, I know there's like an insider term for it, but in that mode there was a screen that said like get the soundtrack. You had to it's like send $10 to this address.
And that's how you got it.
And then that's how you got it. And it was by this techno group called the Immortals. And again, this is really cool because this is at the time, this was like 1993, 94. This was a kind of a new thing, and it was like a concept album where each character had their own song. And it wasn't just like Raiden's really cool, Sub-Zero. It was like a song that like kind of like, so for instance, the first song, it was called Prepare Yourself, and it was Johnny Cage's song, and it was like about like it was like a dude introducing the actor Johnny Cage, like, please welcome to the stage, he's cool, he's hip, he's Hollywood's hottest actor, Mr. Johnny Cage, and it was this kind of like, I remember Mike used to use it as the Edge intro because it was like, prepare yourself, and it was just this like techno, ding 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 ding. It was like super techno, and then I remember there was this big part where, because everybody would yell it out to start our like thing, where it was like Johnny Cage is not afraid to die, and like it was like this big, it was big fun. And then the last song, so it was each character, even Goro had his own song, and I remember the Sub-Zero song. I really like the Scorpion song. It was called Lost Soul Bent on Revenge. And there was like this really high bars going, Lost Soul Bent on Revenge. And like, I don't know. It was just pretty cool. And then there was Sub-Zero, and it was like kind of a more slower song because it was like, Sub-Zero with your heart so cold. And like, it doesn't sound as cool when I'm saying it's pretty cheesy.
No. I just imagine like a TV advertisement. Brendo sings Mortal Kombat. Sub-Zero.
Did you get to the Josh Groban sings?
I still
Tim and his little brother.
I'm like so close. I'm almost done with season 4.
When you hear Josh Groban sing, bang bang cops and robbers, sing bang put him in jail. Oh, but anyway, so
you should record BrendoMan sings Mortal Kombat.
So each character had a song, and then the last song was the Mortal Kombat song with the Mortal Kombat. Right. Like that's where that comes from. Was this album that originally only sold with the game? And I sound like opera guy from Running Man. I take that as a compliment. But yeah, so they each character had a song. I loved it. And then when the movie came out, the only song that they used was the Mortal Kombat song, and they made a special remix on the movie soundtrack. And then they came out with an additional because that one did so well. Then they came out with a second album, and then they came out with then they got kind of crazy because then there was a Mortal Kombat Annihilation album where they kind of mixed in some like hardcore and metal along in there.
Right.
And like because it was the late 90s, early like 2000s.
That was happening.
So like it was very but yeah, it's like
the
Mike has all of them.
Like way more business than the movie itself. Like,
yeah.
That song, everybody knew that song.
Yeah. Well, then they used it for like because I mean everybody remembers the Mortal Monday commercials because it was like all the people running through the streets. Mortal Kombat, like everybody of that. It was like I remember that and like the Mario commercial were like the biggest. Yeah, and like the Sonic commercial. Those were like the 3 video game commercials that every kid from that era remember because they were like those were the huge ones. They're like Sega like that, like the first one of that, and then the Mario commercial and that Mortal Kombat commercial. Like
I remember Sega specifically was like the euphemism at like our youth group for like any cuss word. Sega, like that was just our, for a long time during that period.
That reminds me of the Bob Saget guy. Have you seen the one where the guy? It was a viral thing where instead of he's like Bob Saget.
Yeah, I like that.
Anyways, so that's Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, yes.
Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But if you already have Amazon Prime, or
if you're just like,
just want to buy
I'm not an internet mogul, Phil. I don't have that Amazon Prime money.
But you're gonna buy something.
But I'm gonna buy something on Amazon. You're gonna buy a screwdriver to help your day.
Everybody does. It's cheaper.
Yeah. The stuff is for instance, I went because I was killing time in Reseda.
Okay.
Because it's a long day living in Reseda. There's a freeway going through the yard.
Is this a song?
Free Falling.
Oh.
Tom Petty?
Yeah, I mean I know, but I wouldn't have been able to call it.
All the vampires moving through the valley. Move west down Ventura Boulevard. Oh man, you're the wrong person.
Sorry.
You don't even know Free Falling?
I mean I know the chorus.
All right.
I wouldn't have known the lyrics of it. Anyway, if you want to help us out.
Well, anyway, so I was. That's what I was saying.
Right.
So I was in Reseda, went to killing some time before it was time to line up in the 99-degree heat, and so I went to the mall, and halfway through, I'm like in the mall, I'm like, this is like, why am I here? I guess because it was cool, but like as far as shopping, because I got to the point, I actually made it to Payless Shoeless stores, and I was holding a shoe. And I'm looking at it, and I tried it on. I'm like, I kind of want this shoe because I need new shoes. But then I'm like, I'm not going to buy this because, like, I know I can get this cheaper online.
Absolutely.
I don't even have to look.
Yeah.
So then I just put it back, and I left.
Yeah.
And that was everything because I forgot where else I was in the mall. Another where I'm like I think I even scanned something on Amazon. I'm like, oh, cheaper. And then I'm like, why is this mall here? Why is this? I guess is it because we're in the valley and everybody needs some place to go?
Yeah, it's with air conditioned. You got a food court.
I guess like you're bored. What are you gonna do?
Well, I love watching people in stores now when they're like trying to like
the sneaky
scan the stuff on the slide. Everyone's like, you know what everyone's doing.
Because people were doing it at the convention, and we're like, it's okay, dude.
Just check it. I
check.
checked them too.
What do you think we did? Like
no one's gonna know that you're glancing down.
Like somebody, the first person that came up actually asked, "Is it okay if I check it?" We're like, "Sure, of course, go ahead, go for it." Because if it is cheaper, then we'll talk.
Yeah.
But like, I'm pretty sure all that you're gonna find, I know what you're gonna find. Because what do you think I did?
Yeah,
like,
that's how we priced it.
Get out of here! You just Amazon price check. You're not allowed to buy. No price check. But like, I don't know. It seemed more of a because it was mostly people sitting around, walking around, eating.
Yeah.
But like shopping.
It's kind of a hangout. I guess.
But like everybody I saw buying something, I almost want to be like, you can get that.
Yeah, like way cheaper.
Like I guess you want it now.
I guess clothes. Maybe people like the idea of trying them on.
I don't know. I started looking at clothes, and then just the idea of like, I don't know. I'm just like, nah. I know my size. I'm just gonna go on it, and like you can return stuff. Zappos free 2-way shipping.
Yeah.
If you don't, so I'm like, I'd rather save that. For me, just the act of being in there looking, because I'm like, I could be doing something. I could be doing anything besides looking at these overpriced jeans. Because again, because don't even get me started on the big and tall stores. Yeah. Which I hope they're going away because online, like, everything's cheaper.
Yeah. No more fat tax.
Because it's the worst.
Down with the fat
and then
tax.
But then the other thing, the other thing that drove me crazy was I was at this. So I was at and also Sears doesn't have a big and tall section anymore. Macy's no big and tall.
Huh.
JCPenney is the only place that even has a big and tall section, and already it's like you're like, oh, it's kind of slumming it here. And JCPenney, and then I go there and so they got a bunch of shirts on sale, at the big and tall section. You want to know why these shirts are on sale, Phil? And you will know right away when I say this, because they're horizontal stripes.
Oh, yeah.
You don't wear no fat dudes wearing horizontal stripes. You might as well be wearing a giant shirt that says, I'm so fat right now. Look at my fat.
It's a circus tent. You're a walking circus tent.
Because I'm like, vertical, baby.
Yeah.
If you're going to have stripes, they got to be vertical.
Yeah. I was looking to see, because all mine are... I do sometimes have like a
plaid. Maybe a plaid. You can get away with a plaid.
Yeah,
if the lines are skinny enough.
Yeah.
They can't be the big... Because these were like big, fat Charlie Brown, horizontal. I'm like, there's a specific reason why Schultz put that horizontal stripe.
Because he looked like a dope.
It looks like a dope. I remember Mike even had a Charlie Brown shirt, and he called it his Charlie Brown shirt.
You got to be like super skinny and in shape to pull that off to be cool. And that's not a good look on
So
me.
I'm like, no wonder these, because it's like they're like $8 for like a nice polo, and I'm like, I'm not buying this.
Yeah.
I don't want your $8 horizontal. It's a trap. It's a trap.
Okay, so on Sunday we went to, this is totally random, but we went to that like cupcake ice cream place over there.
Oh.
And, we told the kids we were gonna get them a treat.
Okay, there's a freaking like this is dangerous. It's so because I guess it's in Calamasa.
Technically, yeah.
But there is a cupcake ice cream and candy store.
Yeah, and they have all the good like old fashioned sodas.
Yeah.
I got a new one that I've never tried before. It's like an alien one, and it's kumquat flavor.
Did they have the Roddy Piper soda there, by the way, the bubblegum one? I've been looking for that.
I didn't see it, but I didn't look that close. But they had like a sweatshirt there, and it was like this vintage soda-looking one, like had vintage soda logos and stuff. And Janelle liked it, like she was checking it out, and we looked at it, and it was a 2X, and it was a hoodie, and it was zippy, and like all her favorite stuff. And I looked at the price, and it was $15, and we're like, oh my gosh, like that's a really good price for a zippy hoodie,
especially for
a 2X. And so she like lifts it up like this to look at it, and it's like cut off like halfway. It's like one of those like show off your belly ones. And we're like, who's wearing a 2X and showing off their belly? There's a reason that's $15. No fat is gonna
belly hoodies.
Apparently so. It was like it would have come up to like here. Janelle said like girls, like skinny girls, like layer stuff, you know.
So okay.
Except this is a 2X. If you're wearing a 2X, you don't. That doesn't work. You don't have the belly hanging out and then wear another thing under it. So we didn't get it. Needless to say. Sometimes though, I don't know. So if you have felt all those things about buying things in person, you should buy it on Amazon and help us out.
I just knocked the mic real bad.
So sorry about that. But go to our website.
That's where sometimes I'm like, is this pop screen even worth it? Because I always knock it.
But at least you're punching that.
But then I'm not getting you're not hearing all my plosives.
Go to RadioBrendo.com.
Yeah.
Click the Amazon link or the button. And we will read off what you guys buy anonymously, of course. Let's see what people bought this week.
We got Extra Season 2 on Amazon Instant Video. Was that you?
Well, that's
because I know you said you were watching.
It might have been. I was not.
Don't you own the DVDs?
No, I don't think I think it was during the Blockbuster era.
Okay.
I think I Blockbuster. I watched them on DVD.
I know. I definitely Blockbuster. Man, that Blockbuster. That was like the one time that Blockbuster was like relevant.
Yeah.
Because I watched so much.
And for a little while, I thought they were going to beat Netflix.
Well, I think they weren't making any money.
Yeah.
At all.
They were beating them in numbers, but not in money.
But like, I feel like that was putting their rental, because the only time I never spent money at the rental store
to
trade them in, and they were always like, that's why they were like, buy a pickle, buy this, buy that. Like that's why Benson was like shoveling pickles in people's because we were just using it as a like you would take your mail-in movies and you could exchange it for a rental movie, and then you just kept doing that, and I never spent a dime there, but I had a membership and I always had my Max out.
Yeah.
So there was no way that was profitable.
No, absolutely not.
Not to mention the people that did want to spend money on rentals, all the good stuff was gone because we took it.
We took it all.
Because I remember you couldn't get like new releases, like new releases. There was like a tier, but TV was open. I remember that's how I got a ton. I just went straight to the TV section.
And I'm pretty sure that's how I watched Extra.
Yeah, I think that's how I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that's how I watched most of Battlestar Galactica and The Wire, and like I guess because they had a very big really TV section
in a time when you couldn't.
And that was because then it was more convenient because with the mail-ins, if you got like a bad disc or you had to get multiple discs, it was always a pain in the butt. So I would get like movies and then trade, and then when I traded in, get the TV in the store. We had like a perfect system for like a year.
For a while.
Not even a year.
Yeah.
It was great.
Fun while it
lasted. And like as soon as you checked in your mail-in movie, they immediately sent you another mail-in movie, so you didn't have to wait for the shipping time. But then Netflix started doing their distribution centers, so it became kind of there wasn't even.
Remember, Blockbuster had their whole like wait time, like if you get this one, you're gonna have to wait this many weeks or whatever. So
because their DVD, crazy. their mail order DVD section was horrible compared to Netflix.
They had some really cool random stuff.
Yeah,
but like
I remember just picking thing, and I'm like, if I don't like it, I'll just take it and get another movie. So like I would just get whatever. Yeah. At a certain point, I wasn't even really like
I remember the entire time we had it at the top of my list because you could like rank it. And at the top of my list, the number one thing was always this movie called Rat Fink and Boo Boo, and it was like this superhero movie made by the Rat Pack, like back in the 60s. And it never came. I never got that one, but I'm like, I want to see that.
I remember I had some like super random, because they had some super random stuff. There was like, I remember having some really random kung fu movies that I ended up getting on there, but like there was certain ones that sat there forever.
Never get it. Oh, that cue.
That was ridiculous. Man, that was a time, right?
Yep.
All right, well, we also got Mad Max Fury Road Blu-ray.
Nice.
Phil, you have to watch that.
I heard good things.
So good. We got Bissell Cleanview Upright Vacuum. Bissells are good.
Yeah, that's
a good brand.
Yeah, my parents have always supported Bissell.
Kindle ebooks. We got Brian Lynch's Monster Motors, which I highly recommend. This is the deluxe edition. It comes with a bunch of special features.
It
has the collected one, so it's got the one shot plus the cursor. It's got everything. Plus it has like some exclusive content. It's only $1.99 on Kindle.
Such a deal.
It's a deal. I mean, you can also buy it in paperback, which we also recommend. $14.21. That's the deal. Because again, this is a collected edition. It's got all the Monster Mode stuff plus exclusive. It's got these dossiers on all the characters. Oh, sorry. So that's what it's really cool. I thought you said something else in here, but yeah. So that's Brian Lynch. It's our friend Brian Lynch, and
very highly rated there.
Super awesome. And groan-worthy puns groan-worthy puns seems to run low on gas. Wow.
That's pretty funny.
Wow.
So there you go. Look at
what? The first review is by Brian Lynch. This book is the greatest book. Like, wow, I am blown away. I don't even know these guys. Seriously. I'm not lying. But I'm blown away by this book. Again, no relation to the handsome creators of this book. Brian M. Lynch. Verified purchase, though.
If you bought it, he gets to say it.
Yeah, so there's the Curse of Mini Van Helsing, which was 2 issues, and that's collected.
That's collected
plus
in
the
this
one
one,
shot.
right?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything that exists. 104 pages.
It's fantastic.
Yes, I read it on my Nook.
Nice.
So we got that, and we got Factory Entertainment Back to the Future. This looks really cool.
A tin tote bag?
It's actually a freaking lunchbox. I don't know why they call it a tin tote bag.
That's a lunchbox.
That is a lunchbox.
Oh, that's cool.
Tin tote bag.
It's the like
sci-fi movie.
Yes.
With Marty.
That's so cool.
So the Marty and like the radioactive suit, and then on the back it's the Back to the Future.
Nice.
On the side it's the Out of Time license plate. And this is just a weird description because it says very rare and highly prized by collectors.
1650 prime.
Like no, it's not. Like maybe I could see down the road.
Yeah, but
there's only 7 left in stock, you guys.
That doesn't make sense.
None of this makes sense. Tin tote bag. What?
It looks awesome.
Who ever called a lunchbox a tin tote bag?
Guaranteed to protect your lunch up to 88 miles
per hour. Look at this Jaws one. Look at all this Back to the Future stuff.
Oh my gosh.
That's future DILF. Future MILF. Why would you wear that?
Oh gosh.
What is wrong with people?
Did you see it said guaranteed to protect your lunch up to 88 miles per hour?
What's one star? Some parts are dented. Uh-oh.
Well, that's not a review. Why do people do that?
Yeah, you complain to Amazon about that.
You get your money back or return it.
Because they ask you, like, they give you the packaging review and stuff. You don't review the product based on that.
Dumb.
Love this lunchbox. The picture is detailed. Shipped in great condition. And overall, I'm really happy with it.
Well, at least they reviewed the item, too.
The BTTF fan in my life loves it. It does look awesome.
Yeah, it does.
You can also get that hat. But as Derek said, Derek's complaint about this hat, because he bought one, the material is not breathable at all.
It's like sweat
and like
head.
your head like just is on fire.
I can
So
see that.
like I've never seen him wear it outside of I think the Halloween
Right.
costume and like one other time. It was so that's something to be aware of. We got MP3 downloads, Tuxedos EP.
Oh, that's Cold War Kids.
Dude, their new song is getting crazy airplay. Like the big single from that last album, like tons of airplay. I hear it on K-Rock at least once a day, at least.
Good for them.
Yeah, good for Matt.
Good for them. Good for them.
We need to get some Cold War Kids on the show.
Seriously.
It's not like they weren't our best friend.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that. They're busy, but I bet we can find some time.
I'm sure we could find some time.
It'd be good.
Matt's online all the time. I'm sure we could get him to.
What's he got going on?
What's he got going on besides touring around playing music?
Doing art.
Whatever. He has time to post all his goofy Instagrams with his shirt off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk to him about that. It's a shirtless thing. What's going on with that, man?
It's not super new.
I mean, it isn't super new. I mean, Janelle does have. There's multiple pictures in Janelle's scrapbook of shirtless Matt.
Yeah.
It's a pretty common Matt thing. Good to know that. Never got rid of that. But yeah. Well, anyways, I just think it'd be cool because I want to remind everybody. Radio BrendoMan was playing Cold War Kids in September of 2004 before they were even signed to a label.
Yep.
Am I hipster enough?
Old school. You were cool before it was cool.
Cool before it was cool. But you can actually, because some of those tracks, like you can't find those. Yeah. Because for a while you could get them on the website. So
that EP,
if you want to listen,
song, I love that wedding song.
If you want to listen to some of them, you can listen to the old Radio BrendoMans and like there's that one that's like don't go. I forgot how it goes. Let your love go away, that song is amazing. Yeah. And it's only on like that random.
And my other favorite one is that it's on that. It's the way I got dragged.
Yeah.
To this wedding. I love that.
That was when I listened to that and I knew I'm like, hey, this is it. Like.
Yep.
All right, then we got this cool. It's those reaction figures.
Oh, nice.
Marty McFly.
Little skateboard.
With the skateboard. Although, look at that likeness there. They did not get the Michael J. Fox likeness rights.
He's wearing skinny pants.
It does say final licensor approval. I wonder if they approved that. It did come out, so I guess it did.
I guess so.
Did it come out? Yeah.
That's cool, though.
Still looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of harkens back to some of those toys.
His face looks more like Jake Gyllenhaal, I think, than But yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
But yeah, if you go looking back at those old Star Wars figures, that didn't look like Harrison Ford or Mark Hamill.
All right, this one I looked at already. This Funko Vinyl Idols, Dr. Emmett Brown, actually. So Funko's doing these ones too. It's more of a cartoony, but it looks pretty awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
He's got like the bug eyes and.
Almost looks like from like the video game.
It's all it almost looks like that.
It's towards that direction.
So they got Ghostbusters ones.
Oh, nice.
And there is a Marty one, and those are. Oh my gosh, I need to get away. I already pre-ordered the stupid freaking special edition because it's got the flux capacitor and it has a cartoon, and that cartoon has never been released anyway. I'm sure you'll be like, yeah.
Hey, Brendan, come over and watch cartoons.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So that's that.
Thanks for buying stuff, everyone, and supporting the show.
We gotta roll on.
Yeah, let's do some rapid fire here.
Facebook group. Go to our Facebook group. Go to RadioBrendo.com. You can find the links to our Facebook group and our subreddit.
Yep.
Lots of good stuff. Tons of daily. If you want to see Phil's distraction videos of the day, go to the Facebook group.
There's plenty of stuff.
Talking about other stuff. Lots of good stuff in there.
Yeah.
Lots of updates on things we talk about on the show.
Lots of news. Like I've learned a lot of the news items from there before anywhere else.
And then, for instance, they just announced. Check it out. Dr. Steve Brule's getting a brand new season.
Yeah, I saw that.
So now I got to watch the rest because I haven't.
For health.
Watch it, dingus.
Yeah, eat an apple, dummy.
A sweet nectar.
For health.
And subreddit, we were talking about that. Kickstarter. So
we talked about that a little bit already, so we can.
We really need to find a time to record.
I know we keep saying that, and then we wind up doing this thing.
Well, we need to do it on a Friday, and then we could because we could stay up super late on Friday. But you have school, I have work, and
and shows. We both went to shows this weekend.
Yeah.
So.
Long Beach Comic-Con, September 12th and 13th. Be there. We are 11:30.
11:30 on the
Sunday,
13th on
but
Sunday.
We'll be there the 12th and the 13th.
Yep.
Checking it out. Go to Long Beach Comic. They've announced a ton of stuff.
A lot of stuff.
They announced all the space stuff that they're doing with NASA. NASA's doing panels.
I think it's going to be huge.
It's going to be an epic. Chloe Bennett is from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is there.
Yep.
John Barrowman, Captain Jack from Doctor Who.
They haven't put out the official schedule yet, but we know what our time is.
Ours is. But there's going to be tons. They said I think Martha said over 100 panels.
Yeah, so it's going to be. I think it's
going to be it's taking up more space this year. It's
They're
the biggest
also fixing
one.
the entryway.
Yeah, it's not going to be where you have to go all the way around like that one.
Not know how to get in there.
And so Phil got to see firsthand why I had a breakdown.
Yeah.
That first year, because I'm like, this is what happened. Right. This is where I was.
Except this time we were like together, so we weren't freaking out. But like, where are we going?
Also, during that weekend on the 12th, after Long Beach Comic-Con, 7 p.m. at the Nerd Melt Theater, our friends Lizzie and Kat will be doing their first live episode of The Blaze at Nerd Melt. They're going to have special guest Christine Elise, who played Emily Valentine. They will be doing an episode about the ultimate Emily Valentine episode. You can still get tickets. There's a limited number left. 90210blaze.tumblr.com. Go there. Get your tickets. Join. I'll be there. Derek will be there. Janelle will be there. And Phil will be watching kids.
That's right.
Because he's a good guy.
I'm sending you on.
But we'll be there. But most importantly, Lizzie and Kat will be doing their show. And I'll be in the audience, and I'm super excited. I'm super pumped for that. And if you haven't listened to The Blaze yet, you should be listening to it. Even if you're not that into 90210, you're not into 90210 that all. They have really great guests. They're really funny, and it's they're two very funny people, and they're awesome. So listen to that. Buy the tickets if you're in LA. Also, and again, like Phil, you still need to come to Meltdown sometime. It's a great store.
Yeah, definitely.
They got a retro video game section now, and all kinds of other cool stuff.
I'll send Janelle and
do some recon.
So yeah, see if she wants to bring me back anything.
All right, so you went to shows.
Talked about that. So yeah,
He's Bridgie and Night Tide. That's our friend Clark. So we talked about it very briefly, but I wanted to just give a quick rest in peace. Mr. Wes Craven died yesterday, and he did like so many great horror movies, and Nightmare on Elm Street, Scream.
Speaking of Phil's college films,
Serpent in the Rainbow.
Do you remember the one that I was a part of that actually helped write and starred in? We did a spoof of Scream called Shriek.
Yes.
Again, so I was in like the horror movie at Viola, the murder mystery, the romantic comedy, and I wrote it. Well, I came up with the concept, and then our friends actually wrote the script after we saw Scream 2, and it was sort of a spoof of that, and never thinking they were going to do Scream 3.
Because Scream 2 took place on a college campus.
Right, and so a lot of it was from that, and then some of the things that they wound up putting in there popped up in Scream 3.
Well, Scream 3 went to this extra super meta level where they're making a movie, and then the actors start dying.
Right. And
there's that. Yeah, so stuff.
So, anyway, but yeah, so that's a bummer.
Parker Posey is by far the best part of Scream 3, by the way. That and Kevin and Jay's cameo, because there's they play Jay and Silent Bob, and they're on the studio, they're on the Miramax lot, and I think they see Courtney Cox, and Jay's like, hey, look, Silent Bob is Connie Chung, because he plays a reporter or so. He just thinks And then when you hear Kevin telling that story where Jay loved it because they barely did anything, and they didn't get paid a lot, but they got per diem. And then Jay was like, we should just do this all the time. We get to sit in a trailer and we get this per diem money. And Kevin's like, Jay, we're we like make our own stuff. Like we get you make a fortune. Like we're gonna make way more money. Like Jay just love the like
not having to do anything.
Not having to do anything and like getting to be themselves basically and getting that per diem money. But yeah. Okay, so what else? Oh yeah, so I'm just working.
Yeah.
Working's good. It's hot.
Yeah.
Sometimes like pushing that cart and it's 104 degrees. And that's not.
It's better now. It's cooling off, but
yeah. But hey, having money is good because having money enables me to. I went to Pro Wrestling Guerrilla for the first. I've been wanting to go for years. Finally got to go this last weekend. It was their biggest event of the year. Their Battle of Los Angeles 3-day tournament. Couldn't go on Friday because I was out of the question. But I didn't think I was gonna be able to go on Saturday because I put a APB out for tickets. Nothing. And Matt Cohen came through, and he had originally said, like, oh, I can't give you a ticket. I can't get you a ticket on Saturday, but I can on Sunday. You can sit with me and Max Landis and Max's girlfriend Dylan, and she was really cool. And so that was already in the plans, but then I'm like, I really want to go Saturday because the card was insane. There was a guerrilla warfare match, which is their, like, anything goes match.
Okay.
And I had seen some of these, and they were, like, the craziest. Because, again, imagine this tiny room, 400 people packed in, and then these guys are fighting all over the place. Through the crowd, jumping over the crowd, stuff like. So imagine that. And so I'm like, I have to. So, but I woke up on Saturday, and Matt called me and was like, I haven't sold my ticket. Do you want to go? And I'm like, yes, I'll be there. And so, again, thank you, Matt. Check out geekcomicbook.com. You can pre-order, or I think he has a mailing list because first he's got to do the Kickstarter, get all those out, and then he's going to sell whatever he has left at geekcomicbook.com. So, thank you, Matt Cohen.
Nice.
And but things that happened, I kind of made a little. I'll just touch these real quick.
Okay.
Max Landis brought pizza for everybody. So, he ordered 25 pizzas during intermission.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Like just for the crowd?
Yeah. Good guy.
Nice.
Good guy, Max Landis. And that was on Sunday. And he also brought me some water and stuff just because I was holding our place in line.
Nice.
Super nice guy. Had a great time talking about wrestling. And it was also cool to see because a lot of people in the wrestling world know who he is because I showed you a little bit of his wrestling is in wrestling, and that has like 2 million hits on YouTube. So he kind of became like this wrestling community celebrity, and people were coming up to him like but like he was again really cool and like talking to people and whoa, what is this? Whoa, what is this? Oh,
sorry, I can't.
That's that freaking search in Windows 10.
What?
It was
Windows 10 is like trying to interrupt our show here.
Whoa, that was crazy. It's like Siri.
I'm sorry, I can't search for you.
Well, anyways, so he was just seeing the way he interacted with everybody. He was really cool. It was nice, and so we had a lot of fun watching wrestling. It was crazy, and then I just want to give another quick recommendation if you're ever in the Valley. Near Reseda is the city of Northridge. It's like right on the border there. So I searched around. I wanted a place because Sunday I checked out of my hotel because I stayed over there. I got a Hotwire deal at an extended stay. It was pretty nice. Actually, later on when I was talking to people in the parking lot, people were getting crazy Airbnb deals. I should have done that. Because like this one dude's like, I'm staying in somebody's guest house and it's like $30 a night and it's like being in a hotel. And he was showing me pictures and stuff. He's like, because he travels all over. He's like, I stopped using hotels. Like so he was I might do that next time. But anyways, nearby my hotel was this place called Brent's Deli in Northridge. You should, if you're ever in the area, if you're in the greater Los Angeles area, it's worth driving to.
Really? That good?
It's freaking amazing. I can't even imagine how good their sandwiches are, but I had breakfast there, and because at first I'm like, wait, it's a deli, like, but no, it's a full-on, like, it's like a super Jewish deli. They have they have like lox and all the fish stuff for like brunch.
Gefilte fish.
Yeah, like all that. But I wasn't. At first I'm like, maybe I should do that because like it was like super recommended. But I'm like, I really don't think I can eat fish right now. Because it was like fish and then like some breakfast, like you get like fish and some eggs and some other stuff. And I looked around and that's what people were getting, but I'm like, I don't think I can do that.
You like got it, and then you got all fish stick in a hot place.
That was where again I just need something to fill me up. So one of their other specialties is a Spanish omelet.
Ooh.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Again, Brent's Deli in Northwood, just in a strip mall, and there was a line out the door, but they had room at the counter. That's again like being by myself. I got to walk right up, sit at the counter, boom. Best omelet I've ever had in my entire life.
Wow.
And I've eaten at a lot of places. Broken Yolk, all those places. I've been to all the brunch places. I've been to crazy Portland brunch places, which are pretty high up there. Shout out to Ray Sean for taking me to wherever that place was. I don't remember. It was by Carson's house, but it was up until that point, whatever that place was that Ray Sean took me to, that was my number one. It was like one of those Portland, I mean, you saw the Portlandia with the brunch.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So it was one of those. But now, like this omelet, I can't even describe to you.
Wow.
It had like this sauce on it, and there was like tomatoes and like I don't know. It was incredible. I wanted a whole other one, and their home fries were amazing, and it came with a bagel and Jewish deli. I figured it got pretty good, and the bagel was amazing, and it was like homemade cream cheese or something. I don't know.
Wow.
Like, dude, so good and very reasonably priced, and everything looked amazing. Like I almost wanted I wanted a pancake, I wanted a waffle, I wanted everything, but I couldn't. I got this omelet, and it was best I've ever had, and the service was impeccable. The refills were just endless stream of refills.
That's
super nice.
That's the most important thing.
Like to the point where I was like maybe 2/3, and she grabbed it out of my hand and just real quick.
Nice.
And
topping it off.
Yeah.
Brent's Deli, huh?
Brent's Deli in Northridge.
All right.
It's worth a trip. Like if I was staying in Hollywood, I would drive up there.
All right.
Like every time I go to Reseda now, because also their lunch and dinner menu looked amazing because you had your sandwiches and your matzo ball soup, and because I talked about the legendary Greenblatt's, and this looked like it might be able to top Greenblatt's.
Wow.
I'm talking like serious words here because I ate at Greenblatt's at least twice a week for a whole year. That's how good that place was. I'm on Sunset. It's right by the Laugh Factory. I still got to take you there sometime. It's actually like above the Laugh Factory.
Okay.
And but that place is awesome. That was me and Derek and Malcolm. Me and Derek and Malcolm would eat there quite a bit during our Smod Castle time. Matt too, sometimes. But yeah, I love Greenblatt's, and I think I love Brent's better. So it's one of those delis. But they also amazing breakfast. Other things that happen. Phil Ewell, again, the Young Bucks, they're the tag team. That's them, and my painting over there. I met them at Comic-Con, over there, by the Norman, Paranorman. Young Bucks. They are the merch masters. Yeah. These guys, first of all, they come out with a new variety of T-shirt twice a week, and let me tell you though, so the way the merch, because I've been to places where they have a whole separate area, but again, this is a tiny room at PWG. It's tiny, so they basically set up in the ring, and they're all around the ring. So before the show, during intermission, then after the show, and the Bucks, they were the only one. They have hangers for their shirts so you can see everyone,
right? And
it's all nice, and they've got foam fingers with the Bullet Club on them. They got and they've got multiple tiers, all kinds, for your cheapest stuff to most expensive. They got all kinds of tiers, and they were, because some of the wrestlers, you could tell after a while they would if they weren't selling anything, or if they had to, they got to go wrestle. But the Young Bucks were there from the absolute first, the moment people were there, till one of the guys that had come up and be it's time to start the show. They were there the whole time, and then intermission, as soon as intermission started, even if because one of the intermissions, they wrestled right before intermission ended, and they seriously went in the back, put on a shirt, came back out there with it because they have to carry their own merch out there, and they immediately brought back out there at the end of the show, and they're like super heels, like huge hated heels, to the point where like I would be afraid to go back out there. Like some of the stuff they were doing, some heinous stuff out in the ring, but they had no fear. It's like they had just told the whole crowd off, and then 2 minutes later they're right back out in the ring with all their merch. And they were there the entire time. The point where like they were had to kicking them off, and I watched them sell hundreds of shirts. Plus they're like super nice guys, and I just watched. So again, PWG is different than some, because I've been to places where like the wrestler like barely makes eye contact with you, and like but they were like, even I wasn't even buying anything, and I just thought, I'm like, hey Nick, how's it going? He like, I talked to him for 2 minutes, like, and like, so again, like they were just schmoozing and slinging, and they must have. I think they must have sold at least 300 shirts, hundreds of shirts, just slinging, and they are just like masters. I gotta give it to them. They are amazing. They're amazing. Yeah, like Landis was booing him, and then I saw him go because he was sitting there looking, and I'm like, I know you want that Bullet Club shirt, man. Because like I do want that Bullet Club shirt, but I hate them so much. But I'm like, oh, I'll just buy it. So he went out. So even Max went up and bought a Bullet Club shirt.
Yeah. Well, I'm telling you, bands could learn a lot from that, because
just nonstop hustle.
Right. Have it out there, like you're out there talking to people,
making contact, shaking hands,
yep.
And like talking to people, and I saw him turn. I saw, like, I remember it got to a point because I'm watching, because like if you for front row, like you go in first, and then there's almost like an hour. And you're like sitting there, and you're sitting, and the ring is right there, and they're right there. So half the time I'll be talking to the guys. Like I sat by the Lucha Underground guys because they were awesome to talk to. Most of them spoke really good English. Like I was, for some reason I didn't think Pentagon spoke English at all, but like I talked to him quite a while. I would just be sitting there talking to them, but then I'd watch them do their thing, and I was like, I wanted to write like tips. Like they were so good at like what they do, and it was Pentagon Jr. Yes, but yeah, so so people were just talking to him. They just watching him sling their merch was pretty amazing. And I watched that, so then what I was saying was I would sit there watching, and I'm like, that's gonna be a sale. No, that guy's not gonna buy anything. And above everybody else, the Young Bucks, I watched him turn where I was convinced the guy wasn't buying anything. I saw him, a dude that had his back turned to them, talking to his buddy. Nick got him to turn around and look at a shirt. He started walking away again, then he turned around and bought the shirt. Like, he went from no way is this guy going to make to sale. Like, they were just amazing at, like, because I think also the fact that they're so nice is what kind of brings people in, because like these guys, they were just, again, they were doing horrific things, and then like I think that's their way they get people. They're like, hey, how's it going? Like, how you doing? Yeah, and so like they made so much money, by far more than, because some of the wrestlers, like I could tell, they're like, I got to get back in the locker room, I got to get ready for my match. I'm thinking about my match, which that makes sense, but like the Young Bucks, they're like, we know we're good in the ring. We're going to spend and when we're not in the ring, we are in the ring selling stuff. We are here. Because, like, also, I think the other thing is, I'm like, I know both of these guys have kids, so that's a huge, like, we need to take home as much money as possible. Yeah. So, anyways, that was awesome. We already talked about the whole indie business model. That's the other part I love about wrestling shows. I spent a lot of time in line, met a ton of people in line. I met this dude from Colorado named Andres, that made me think of our Andres. We talked a ton. Met this other dude. I met a dude from Indio who actually he stayed at his buddy's house in Redlands because it was closer to go to, and he didn't want, so he stayed in Redlands and then drove to Reseda each day, and he went to all 3 days. So we drove from Reseda back to Redlands every night.
Oh, wow.
But met that dude, met a couple from Bakersfield, met a dude that came from England.
Really?
Yeah, met a bunch of dudes that came from New York.
Wow.
Met Dave Meltzer, who is this super famous, he's the guy that he's been writing about wrestling since I was like 5. And and he came from NorCal. I think he's from NorCal, and it was cool asking him like, what do you think? Because like he's just notorious for trashing some of these indie, but he loved it. He loved it. Like at one point during so this ties into the broken chairs. So on night 2 there was what they call the guerrilla warfare match. Is between the super heel stable. They're called Mount Rushmore 2.0 because they're the Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Okay.
And it's the second iteration because it was Kevin Steen and Adam Cole. Kevin Steen went to WWE. Kevin Owens, my favorite wrestler,
right.
And Adam Cole went to Ring of Honor. Now it's the original founder of PWG, who was retired forever, Super Dragon, the Young Bucks, and then the PWG champion Roderick Strong. So they're this super heel faction. They just go in and trash everybody. They beat up everybody. So they were doing like a series of like tag matches. This was a 3-on-3 guerrilla warfare match. So it was them against like two of the Lucha Underground guys. And then like some of the British guys, but anything goes all over the arena. So they were just like picking up chairs, throwing chairs all over the place. There was piles of chairs because you stood up the whole time. Like I guess we're not sitting up because also you had to be aware. People were flying all over the place. Dudes were landing on like all nearby, flying everywhere. A guy we weren't paying attention, like seeing what happened. A dude jumped over a bunch of people sitting on the stage, from the stage to the ring. Thumbtacks. The Young Bucks, they do like this thing called the super kick, where it's like a really hard kick to the face. Well, this is again one of the heinous things that they did. They went into they had like this whole bag of weapons, and Nick Jackson pulled out 2 shoes, the bottoms covered in thumbtacks, and this was not fake. It was for real, covered in thumbtacks. So they took off their regular shoe, each one of them put on one, and then they super kicked people with the thumbtack shoe. Biff Busick got his ear pierced with a thumbtack. Just gnarly. This match was gnarly. And like people were just, again, there was blood and chairs, and so like they were breaking the chairs, and I'm like, what's gonna happen? And then day 3, dude behind me goes to sit down, and he just falls right through his chair. I'm like, they just reset up the broken chairs. And there was like tables. Matt got a really good picture of like the broken table and like dudes. Like there was periods where like everybody was just dead. Like just everybody was dead. Super Dragon, I think there was a couple plants in the audience because Super Dragon, I know he's notorious for getting in people's faces and getting like he's not afraid to like tussle with fans.
Right.
But like he straight up like was shoving dudes. He like tossed a guy into another guy. Like it was chaos. Like I have to get the DVD to see what it looked like. Because when you're in it, you're only like you can only see certain things. And also, I am like thinking like I'm gonna die because there's like again there are big wrestlers just because they're diving into the crowds, they're falling into the crowds. At one point, Biff Busick right in front of me grabbed a ladder and like the ladder starts like I had to get out of the way. And then they go a ladder and they're smashing it all over the place. Like I held the chair while someone rammed a head into it. Like just it was freaking nuts, and the Super Dragon chants are so loud, and people, it was chaos. And then last night, because like the way they did the tournament was, there was so for the last so it was a 3-night tournament. So the first round matches were on, so it was 24 entrants. There's 12 first round matches on night 1, 12 first round matches on night 2.
Okay.
Wait, no, that's not right. 6 first-round matches, because there's 12 matches total.
Okay.
6 first-round matches on night 1, plus 2 non-tournament matches. Then 6 non-tournament matches on night 2, plus 2 non-tournament matches. And then on night 3, there was 6 quarterfinal matches, then 3 semifinal matches, then 1 triple threat final match. That is 10 matches. But because it's a tournament, you have to have a break in between that quarterfinal. So in between the quarterfinal and semifinals, there has to be a break match.
Right.
Because you can't have the guy. You can't make a guy who just around come back out.
Right.
So there has to be a gap there. So there was a tag. There was another big Mount Rushmore match, and it was against the Lucha guys. It was nuts. Then there was the intermission. No, that was right after intermission. So there was intermission, then there was that match, then there was the quarterfinal matches, and then in between the quarterfinal matches and then the triple threat match, there was a 5-on-5 tag match, which is basically all the guys from the previous nights that had gotten eliminated thrown all together, and that was usually where they do some comedy spots to kind of keep the crowd involved, because by that point we'd already been there for like 4 hours. 4 hours of wrestling. So they did this part, which I guess they did it last year, where at a certain point one of the wrestlers says, we're like slow-mo, and then for seriously like 10 minutes, the crowd and the wrestlers did everything in slow motion. Like, guys were doing moves, we were doing chants in slow motion. I cannot wait to see what it looks like on the DVD, because we're doing like clapping in slow motion, reacting in slow. The wrestlers are like punching in slow motion, doing moves in slow motion. Like, the ref is like doing everything. It was the best thing I've ever like been a part of at a wrestling. It was so fun. And then you had the triple threat semi, like, because some of the quarterfinals, there was a quarterfinals match that was like 40 minutes long, and it was between two British technical wrestlers, and it was nuts. All the matches were nuts. I'm just saying, they're a lot nuts. And then triple threat finals, and it was great. This dude from England won. He was awesome. Pentagon, like a bunch of the Lucha, like all my favorite guys from Lucha Underground. That's one of the main reasons why I want to go. You've been hearing me talking about it on this show a little bit, but just seeing these guys in person, they were the real deal. Like, they were amazing. The stuff they did was so entertaining. Max Lannis' girlfriend had never been to like a wrestling show. She, by halfway through, she was chanting with us. She was pounding the mat. She was super into it. Like, it was fun. It was great spending time with those guys. And one more time, thank you, Matt Cohen, for making it possible. It was a blast. I had so much fun. You don't even know. Steve, you gotta come sometime. It was crazy. Crazy town. So much fun. I've never had that much fun. Pimpernello was not there. It was the Lucha Underground guys. It was Drago, Phoenix, Aerostar, Pentagon Jr., Jack Evans, and Angelico. And it was great. All right, so then we got Book Corner. Let's do a real quick Book Corner.
Yes, what'd you read?
I read 3 of the first.
You went nuts here.
Well, because I got 2 at the library, and then when I was going to go check out the 3rd one, but it was on Overdrive.
Oh.
The ebooks.
Right.
So I just got it right away, and I read it, and I read the whole thing today.
Really?
Yeah, like during my lunch break, and then after work. So I finished the Lemonade War, which is the first one, then the Lemonade Crime, which takes place immediately after that. The Bell Bandit takes place a little bit after, and they are all so good. It's about a brother and a sister, and again, that sibling dynamic just really, really resonates with me. The weird kid getting bullied because the sister, she skipped a grade, and they haven't outright said it, but I think she has Asperger's.
So she's definitely like on the spectrum, one would say. Yeah. Really super smart and has a hard time.
Some hard time with social situations and feelings.
Yeah.
And I can relate to some of that. And then the sibling stuff, and then the single, their dad's gone, so the single mom situation, and just all that stuff. Just really, and especially the 3rd one, the Bell Bandit. I can't wait, because I'm not gonna lie, I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads.
Wow.
It got a rare Brendo 5-star.
And this is a series Janelle introduced us to. This one, I had not read any of it ever before.
Yeah.
She reads actually the 2nd one with her class because she does a mock trial.
Yeah.
So she uses that as part of the mock trial.
The sister does a mock trial in the Lemonade Crime.
So that's how she came to like be introduced to the series. So yeah, it's cool. It's a good book club series.
And the Bell Bandit is great because it's kind of a mystery. There's like a lot of references to Get Smart.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because Jesse meets a friend, and he's really into Get Smart because his name is Maxwell.
Oh, nice.
So like, and he's like an autistic kid, and so he's like way into just stuff like that. So the Spinox,
Yeah.
like the ones where it's the eyeglasses with the this like stuff like that. They try to make their own ones, and
That's cool.
and the shoe phone, and talking about all that stuff, and it's pretty cool. And it's really funny, but it's also really poignant and sweet, and I loved it, and I can't wait. They had a preview in the ebook. They had a preview for they had a first chapter of the next one, and I was already like, oh, this sounds great. It's called the Candy Crush or some Candy something.
Okay.
And it just it's really good.
Can't remember now what it is. Lemonade War series. I'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing about it, since we're talking about it. That I thought was funny in the beginning of the Lemonade Crime, which I'm reading currently, the part of the thing that the kid that stole the money, we found out the way they found out that he was the one that stole it for sure was he went out and bought an Xbox.
Yeah.
But he bought like the Xbox 2020.
Yeah, they made up
like their virtual reality one.
I'm like, I thought that was funny.
But it's funny because that was like she wrote what was it, like 2007, I want to say.
Well, no, I think it was because the Bell Bandit was like 2012.
Well, the first one was like 2006. I'm gonna look. Well, anyway, but virtual reality is becoming more and more of a thing now.
Yeah, for reals, finally.
Let me see here. When was this? This was 2011.
Okay.
So when was the Lemonade War? It was 2006. Okay, so there was a big gap there.
And then I think they took off, and then she started really doing them. But yeah, which is pretty funny because it's like a full-on virtual reality. Like it's like a what is it?
Like the haptic suits because you got the hands. Yeah. That control.
So it's got even that.
Yeah.
It's like even more than what we have now. Like
I thought it was for Xbox 2020.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's also funny is that I totally had a Scott Spencer in our neighborhood, and his name was Scott. It was Scott Saunders.
Okay.
But he was totally that, like, just real shady dude.
Yeah. Well, and the kind of guy who's like acts like they're nice, but are total jerks.
Total,
to you for real.
Yeah.
Like, but come on, man, you're my pal.
Yeah.
And then we'll totally be just a butt to you.
Well, I remember, like, he would, like, hang out with us, and then, I think I've told this before, like, he totally shot my friend Tim's brother in the butt with a BB gun. And then one day I'm like playing my saxophone and I start hearing this plink, plink at my window, and it turned out he was shooting my window
with a BB
with
gun.
a freaking BB gun, man.
But then he never gets caught. They never get in trouble.
Never got caught.
Yeah.
Even though, because at first I'm like, what is that? And then like later on I found a BB and I showed it to I showed it to my mom, and mom's like, we have no way to prove that that's him. Even though I'm like, he shot into the Carroll's yard. The dude is armed, and that's where I was always scared after that. Because I'm like, I don't know where he was. Because like that was the thing when Brian got shot. It was in their backyard, and his yard was his yard was overlooking their yard, and we think he got it, but like they couldn't find. They had no proof. They looked for him, and he was super stealth.
But everybody knew who did it.
We all knew. The whole neighborhood knew. Because who else would do that?
Right.
One time, like, 'cause he would do all kinds of stuff to them. Like, I think it got to the point where he threw a brick through their window or something.
Gosh.
But again, never was able. They were never able to pin it on him. Their pool furniture, he frequently threw their pool furniture into their pool. He was, I mean,
that's like this guy. Like, it's totally that kind of thing.
Just all that kind of stuff. But then, meanwhile, like, he'd be on the bus. He'd be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?
Right.
Want to come over?" And he like would always. He loved showing. He had the spaceship. He had the G.I. Joe spaceship, and he loved showing that thing off. Because they love it. They'll, and that sometimes can be their, like, that's how they, like, that can almost be their downfall. They're so prideful of like their stuff, and then you're like, so, like, how'd you get this? Because he was like, again, like, he was the kid, you didn't leave your money sitting around or anything. I remember one time, this was the worst thing that he did. I had some baseball cards, and he had come over. He had come over, and I remember I got home. This was when my mom was not living at our house. So it was I would come home at like 3 to an empty house. My dad didn't get home till like 6.
Right.
And so I remember we came home, played some Nintendo. I had some baseball cards. He's like, "Oh yeah, let me take a look at those." He's like, "I'll buy those off of you." And and like. And he's like, I got $5. I'm like, oh, I'll take $5 for him because it was like $5 worth of cars.
Right.
I'm like, all right, sounds good. Cool, I made $5. And then my dad gets home and he's like, he's like, hey, did you get that $5 I left for you for lunch money? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, I left it on the table here. And it turned out Scott had stolen my $5 and then I'm like, oh, I didn't see. He's like, well, and I'm like, you mean this? And he's like, well, that's your lunch money. So,
oh gosh.
And then I tried to convince. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. He did the Scott Spencer thing, like
so bad.
And I'm like, I was so mad, dude.
Well,
oh yeah, and I'm currently still reading that rest. I don't know. I really like the style, but like,
this is the classical music.
I don't know who any of these people are, but it is cool hearing because they're getting into like World War I, but. It's a bit of a slog.
Maybe losing some interest there.
I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, it's cool, but like I don't know. I'm not gonna listen to all these classical guys. Like, no, I'm sorry, Jerry, because I know Jerry like loves all these like in the social. She's like, but whatever. I'm sorry, Jerry. And then I'm almost done with Put This in Your Brain. There was another really good, because some of these essays are just really well researched. I told you about the Choose Your Own Adventure one.
Right.
I just read a whole one about pinball. So, you know a lot of those old pinball machines that they had at the Pinball Museum?
Right.
Any pinball machine made before like 1945, like originally when they first made them, didn't have flippers.
What'd you do with it?
That's why it was a true game of chance. And that's why pinball got banned, because it was almost like a pachinko machine.
You
shot it, and then where it fell, and then you could get like points and like stuff. And that's
so by adding the flippers,
they were retrofitted with flippers, and that's where it got unbanned.
Interesting.
Because like all those old ones, because he talked about one that they have at that, and he's like, because this one museum had them original intact.
Wow.
Like
so
without the flippers.
Unmodified.
And whereas these ones, all those old ones, but those old ones that we were playing originally did not have flippers on them. So I thought that was very interesting. Because at first we're like, what is that? How is it not
it's a game? Like
yeah, but they didn't have flippers.
Huh.
And it was also controlled by the mafia. He also went into that.
Well, I could understand that then.
So yeah, so it's been really cool. Put This in Your Brain. It's part of that story bundle, but it's also out there.
Yeah.
It's because I think you can't get it on Amazon, but you can get it from the magazine's website.
Okay.
So I forgot what the magazine's called, but I'll find it. If you type in put this in your brain anthology,
sure it'll come up.
It'll come up there.
Well, I finished the Lemonade War. We talked about that for our book club.
Yeah.
I also finished I Am the Cheese, which I kind of talked about a little before. It's like a 70s like kind of psychological thriller. It turned out to be really good. I liked it a lot. Very like. I don't know how to describe it other than it just felt like a 70s story. Like it felt like that indie film of the 70s type vibe, and it was really, really good. So there was that. That's one that was by the guy that wrote The Chocolate War. So a lot of food related things: Lemonade War, Chocolate War, and cheese. And then I just started reading the Peanut Butter Poltergeist. So again on the food theme.
And then you're reading Sideways Stories again?
Okay, well, real quick, and I'll get to that. The Peanut Butter Poltergeist, I've read about halfway now.
Is a ghost in the sandwich?
Well, there's a peanut butter jar that is apparently possessed, and we haven't gotten to. I don't know if it's really a ghost or if it's someone doing a prank or not. But they're out like a cabin. The story, the setup for it is just like the third Fudge book, where they go out to the third one, right? Where they're out at the cabin.
Yeah.
With Sheila Tubman, except in this one it's his step. Well, it's like post after they get married because it's like his stepsister now, and so they're out of this and he hates her and they're fighting and stuff. But meanwhile,
this sounds like the R.L. Stein book, The Stepsister.
Well, it could very well
be. He thought except it was two girls, and one of them thought the stepsister. This girl thought the stepsister was trying to kill her.
Well, this one is
she
more.
Thinks she's just messing with the peanut butter.
Well, no, they think that the house is haunted.
Oh.
But we're not sure if maybe one of them is messing with the other or not at this point. And then the real estate lady is a witch who like sold it to them, or she claims to be a witch and says the place is haunted with a peanut butter loving ghost. So, so it's fantastic. And then this has actually been really fun. So I've been reading to the kids like every day basically since they were born. Like we always read stories to them and stuff. But up until fairly recently, it's like kiddie books, like picture books.
But
and
Audrey's
stuff.
reading full
But yeah,
on.
Audrey's reading books, and I like realized one night I'm like, I need to like step it up here and get some more interesting ones. So I'm like, what kind of things would the kids like? And I'm like, I was looking through the bookshelf and I came across Sideways Stories, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's time. And I pulled it out, and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, there's only like one picture per chapter, so they were nervous at first. And I like read them the first story, and they are hooked. Like we've reread some of the stories that they like a lot over and over again. Like we're going through the whole series now, so we're almost done with the first one. But like the next time you see them, they will not stop talking about this book. Like they've reenacted the stories. They do like artwork, like depicting like their favorite ones. They love the one with like the dead rat. They keep like talking about how did that rat talk? Like what if he was a dead rat? How was he inside? Like they're just going on. Today, okay, so I don't know if you remember, like the first story in the book, there's Mrs. Gorf, the evil one, and she turns the kids into an apple, and then they defeat her by holding the mirror up. She turns herself into an apple, and then Lewis comes in and eats her. So we're at like the second to last story, and the picture at the beginning of it shows like it looks like almost a ghost version of Mrs. Gorf back, right? We haven't read it yet, but the kid's like, how did she come back? And I'm like, I don't know. We'll have to find out tomorrow. And they're like talking about different like ideas or theories, and Luke said she must have gotten pooped back out.
Yep, that sounds like a Vecchio.
That's totally it. Yep. So that's his theory for now. We'll read it tomorrow night and you'll find out. But it's been so much fun. Oh my gosh, like just they're cackling reading it because it's great. I mean, you remember like, but they're just like at the perfect age for it, where every joke is hilarious. So
awesome
reading. Boom.
No new movies.
No.
DVD on demand corner in addition. So WWE Network, I finally got my support ticket escalated. It only took 2 weeks because it's so weird. They'll claim that they fixed it, then I'll start watching. It'll work for a little while, and then it'll just immediately start doing it again. I made it through a whole classic Raw the other day though, but then the next one I watched, it started doing it again. So I think they're fixing the one that I tell them I'm having a problem on. Like they'll boost
that one
the bandwidth, and then I'll go on to the next one, and it's back like all screwed up. And so I think I'm like, they know they need to fix it, but again, if what it is, I think it's very expensive for them to like increase the bandwidth on all this immense. So, but they have escalated the ticket. I'm sure there's plenty of people that are. I actually did an informal, just like again talking to people in line at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Without fail, everybody, I'd be like, "You got the network?" They're like, "Oh yeah, it's great." And then I'd be like, "Classic content." They're like, "Oh no!" And then it'd be like, "Wait, I thought I was the only one." "Oh, I'm not the only one." And I'm like, "We all need to unite, you guys!" Like just in this parking lot, there's at least 100 people that are having the same issue. Imagine like nationwide. Like, come on, people. If everybody started harassing them, they'd have to. So people are like, I'm tweeting right now. I'm like, I emailed them, so I got some people to open tickets. I'm like, everybody needs to do it.
What if by doing that you guys make them shut down and then you lose it all? Would you go to a world post having that?
Go back to BitTorrent.
Okay.
I haven't torrented wrestling like WWE and like the whole time I've had it, so like it's worked. So if they want me to like, I'm giving them money, like then they should keep. Although like I don't know.
So I don't want to make you stress about that.
The other thing is I started because there was a big advertisement on like it's all over Hulu Plus.
Yeah.
Is
like their background
Fargo. So I started watching it because I saw one episode like out of order at Ross and Paul's house, and I loved it. And so I started from the beginning. This show is incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. Martin Freeman, he's so I don't know how he's a freaking like
he's amazing.
He's incredible because he's got that. It's so like because that's how Fargo like it just captured that. And I mean you can't pull a fast one on me because like my mom's from Minnesota. I've been around that my whole life. My grandma, like my whole family. Very like I've been to Minnesota. I lived in Wisconsin.
Your vocabulary is heavily influenced.
Yeah, my mom lives in Wisconsin now, but like she's lived in Minnesota. A bunch of my family lives there. I know that area. My grandma lived in Brainerd. You know, like we'll take this. Can we settle this in Brainerd? Yep. Like so, yeah. And it's the way it just again it managed to capture that whole atmosphere a lot of snow,
Yeah.
a lot of just and Billy Bob Thornton is legitimately like both hilarious but terrible. Like I said, he's like Steve Buscemi plus the Russian plus the Joker. Like Dark Knight, Heath Ledger Joker, just like some people just want to watch the world burn. Like just some of the stuff he does is so messed up, but like in a like entertaining, like you want to know what the heck is he gonna do next, because he's just like causing chaos. And so it's very much like in the spirit of the Coens. They're executive producers
Okay, so
on the show. They're involved. I don't know what level, but at least like I think approval, and it has a feel like just the whole story, like a crime gone bad, good people getting mixed up with bad elements, and just like it's a real humdinger, and because Martin Freeman is like the William H. Macy role in Fargo. He just gets mixed up in this whole world. Oliver Platt is amazing.
No Mark Gunderson.
Everybody in it. Oh, dude, and then Odenkirk again.
Oh, yeah.
Like another side of Odenkirk I ever see. Because at first I thought he was just being straight up like bumpkin bad cop, but once the evidence, because at first he's like, no, there's no way it could be this. He's like pushing because it's this one lady police officer that's like keeping the case, trying to stay on, because she's on to Martin Freeman. Like, how like it's like Marge was on to William H. Macy right away, but like her police chief's like no. But finally, because like typical bumpkin cop, he would still continue, but Bob Odenkirk kind of added this new level to his character once he finally all this evidence like we have to. So I'm like, oh, so he's not just typical, and it's so good. Billy Odenkirk is just. The fact that he can do this and Mr. Show and just all these different like ridiculous things are like super, but then like super, like this is like serious drama. Emmy, a ton of people were nominated for. Colin Hanks, fantastic. Like a lot of good people. So it's so good. It's so the music, it's like that music from Fargo, just like that really ominous.
Oh yeah.
But soothing also, like just the way the music kind of captures that whole atmosphere. It's so good. Now I'm almost done with this season, and season 2 starts in October, and I think they're gonna show it on Hulu Plus as it. So good. So good.
Well, also so good is the current season of Last Comic Standing.
Yeah.
The second round of semifinals happened last week. It was much better than the first season. First one, because the first one,
like you said, like nobody
only
liked.
Picked like 2 people, only one of them that we really liked. But this last one, it's like they saved all the ones we liked a bunch for this. So almost everyone that made it through this round, we really, really liked, and they got a lot of good ones. So now it's starting this week on Wednesday. They've got it down to 10 people, and that's when they start doing the like head-to-head competition and stuff. So that's when it gets like extra really good. So. I also forgot to put this on there, but we red boxed Aloha, the Cameron Crowe movie.
Good.
And it was really good. Like it was, kind of a romantic comedy. It's one with Bradley Cooper and Emma Stone and all those good folks.
I know that's the big red box release they're pushing.
Yeah, it was good. Like I mean, I would kind of put it though, sort of like in a B to B plus range for me, like because it was very.
Did you see his last one?
I don't think it was.
We Bought a Zoo.
Oh, I did see that one. Yeah,
it's really good.
That was really good. I like that a lot. This one, there was just a lot of kind of metaphorical moments that felt a little forced for me. It wasn't bad. Like overall, it was great.
Is this Phil's pretentious?
I don't know. Maybe
card, because I know you play that on a lot of.
But see, it wasn't bad. And it wasn't like something that took me out of it or ruined it. There were just a few moments where it got kind of slow for me as they were pondering the meaning of the universe type thing.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Which, I don't know. I mean, maybe I'd be curious to hear your take on it. It was really good. Like, it's still a recommended one. Okay. It just wasn't
What about the Emma Stone thing?
I thought, well, okay.
Especially after you found out, like, from him that was based on a real person.
Anybody who would complain about, like, whitewashing this movie or anything obviously did not watch the movie.
Yeah, because it's all Hawaiian people.
Not only that, but the whole plot revolves around the white government coming in and like, trying to take land from the Hawaiian government or from the Hawaiian people, and so there's a whole population of Hawaiian people that are obviously Hawaiian people that are cast in that, and it's their relationship. And then the whole Emma Stone character she's a quarter Hawaiian and I think a quarter Japanese, and then I think her mom was like Danish or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's addressed, and it's funny, haha, that she's got the last name that totally doesn't fit the face, but as you saw, like that's totally what she was. But regardless, the whole movie is populated by the exact people that they purported to be populated by. So anyone that claims
also Emma Stone again as Cameron Crowe, you just gotta read Cameron Crowe's like response.
Yeah,
like,
was great.
Emma Stone's character based on a real person. Like like that's a real person.
It's a real person. So yeah, that part of it is just a non-starter. Like, anyone that says that didn't watch it
and just wants to start.
Just wants to start something because it was very.
I feel bad, especially because you could tell it affected him greatly to the point where like I feel like Cameron Crowe seems like he's kind of told everybody to stick it for a while because he seemed kind of upset.
But I would
which is unfortunate because he's one of my favorite filmmakers.
This movie employed more indigenous people,
and that's what he said because he said that he's like, and that's one of his things. Like
you can tell I don't know if it's actually on like their property, but it's set in like their kingdom. You know, I forget what they call it. Like it's like their tribe, but they had a word for it. But anyway, it's set on their like indigenous property. And it's amazing. It's great. Like that aspect of it was wonderful. I liked it a lot. It was definitely one I would recommend. Probably just not my favorite of his.
Okay, so because since it was a Cameron Crowe movie, soundtrack
was fantastic. That's
probably
my favorite part.
His soundtracks.
I would just listen to that.
He has the best soundtracks.
From
period.
Point A to point B, all the way through is just the best. Like fantastic.
His soundtracks. I mean, that's his. I mean, he started. I mean, that's how he started music.
Yeah. And it shows all the way through.
If you're looking for a good read to Cameron Crowe, he did a revisit of his some of his Rolling Stone days, and he does kind of like an oral history type thing. It wasn't the Allman Brothers tour, which is what Almost Famous was based on. I think it was another one, but amazing stories and just the way he writes is just you're there, man, and like especially if you love music, because like that's his first love, and like and he writes, he's able to express ways that I can't express, like the love for music and the way music permeates every area of your life. And I don't know, I really felt it. For me, the things most is like Almost Famous, and then Singles. I had forgotten how music-centric Singles is. I mean, it's pretty much like it kind of poses as a romantic comedy, but really it's all about music.
Right.
And but yeah, he's great, and I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't fade away because
it was very, very good. I mean, I almost feel bad being even kind of critical because I do enjoy his stuff very much. But for me, that's where it ranked. So,
all right,
just being honest.
All right, Netflix. I am watching. I think I already talked to. I watched the Roddy Piper episode of It's Always Sunny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But just I'm watching more episodes. This show is so. Just when you're like, I don't know what they can do next, like how horrible can they go? Like it's insane. I love the show. They're all so good. Oh my gosh, one of the dudes from It's Always Sunny is also in Fargo, playing a completely different. Like at first I'm like, that's not him, because it's so like real and like not, because It's Always Sunny they're so over the top, ridiculous. But seeing him play like a real role is nuts. So I thought that was crazy.
Well, I've finally been catching up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I started back over from the beginning just to kind of.
But you made it through like the Captain America crossover.
Yeah, I'm like halfway
the Thor
through season 2, I think.
There was the Thor 2 Aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
There was did you get to the second Lady Sith episode?
No, I think I've only seen the first one.
Season 2 episodes.
Okay.
She comes back.
There's been some like flashbacks to the Howling Commandos and Agent Carter.
Oh my God! Yeah.
So yeah, it's fantastic. I don't know why it has taken me this long to like watch through it. I just didn't ever do it before, but it's amazing. I love it. So I'll definitely be finishing that. And then I watched it just randomly one night. Sometimes I just get into like good documentary.
This is definitely on my list.
Have you familiar with it at all?
I just saw it and added it.
It's called The Search for General Tso.
Because I've said this a lot of times. General Tso chicken. If you go to China, you will not find we won't find it.
Well, so what's amazing, like it's just one of those things.
So is it about the
origins of the food and of the history of the
actual General Tso?
And they go to all the restaurants, like they go across the country and go to different restaurants, try to find out who came up with it, look at different spellings of it. They also go to China and Taiwan and look to see who was General Tso and what did he do, and it's fascinating, both as like a historical thing, looking at the food stuff. It's just one of those things, when you see a good documentary, you're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. It's not a subject I ever would have thought I knew I would be interested in, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, especially
highly recommended.
There was a period where because I got to know some of the local restaurants, and I actually tried to get them to make me some orange chicken, and they were like, why would we? That sounds gross.
Oh, dude.
That's basically what they were basically
There's a whole segment where they take pictures of different versions of General Tso's chicken from America, and they go in like Taiwan and China and show it to people, and they're like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Or like,
that's exactly.
It's great. Like,
so you can imagine me trying to because I was trying to describe it in like some Chinese and some English, and they're just all like, one lady got mad. She's like, why would you even no, like because they do have their it's like a super Chinese version of sweet and sour pork. It's not like our sweet and sour pork, and I'm like kind of like this, but with chicken and orange. And they're like, and the moment I said, like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know, that's a weird American thing. They're like that because they were fascinated with that. Like, they're like, that is American Chinese food. They don't have, and they were listing all that. I'm like, they're like, do you have this in America? I'm like, nope. They have that. They're like, no. They're like, what do Chinese restaurants serve in America? I don't understand.
Well, it's fascinating because it goes into the origin of why we have those Americanized versions. Talks about like the Chinatowns like on the frontier days and how the immigrants had to survive by making their food palatable.
Yeah.
Just mysterious enough, but making it palatable to the people who are there, and the history of it just is fascinating, really, and just the way that it goes across the country. And
now I'm hungry for real Chinese food.
Oh my gosh. You should definitely watch it.
I mean, there's certain Chinese. I went to Alhambra, which you know what Alhambra is. That's like the highest concentration of Chinese people probably in the United States. And I asked for some of the dishes that I got in Harbin all the time in Chinese. First of all, they were shocked seeing me speak Chinese, and then they laughed at me because they're like, we wouldn't be able to sell that here. And I'm like, but it's so good. They're like, we know that. But then the guy even like he waved at all the people because it was like half, and he's like, but they don't know that. That was what he said. He basically was like, these Americans are dumb. Is basically what he said. Because I'm like, why don't you have that? And then other things, there are vegetables that don't grow here, which is also weird.
Yeah.
Like, and also parts of the vegetable here they don't use.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get garlic shoots here. People don't even know what the heck that is. And it's the best thing in the whole entire world. Phil, you would love it. You would love it.
Well, I guess you could grow your own. Right?
Yeah, but I don't know how to do that.
I don't know. I've grown onions.
It's different. It's weird. I talked to a Chinese woman. She says they won't grow here the way that they do it in China. I don't know.
You could grow
and then the way I've finally found them at a couple places, but it's like super Chinese places. The correct dumplings, like real dumplings, because people here want fried wontons. They don't want the boiled, and even the boiled dumplings here are weird, like pot stickers. Like that's bullshit. I'm sorry, like that, like those, like so, like I'll go to a place and I'm like dumplings or like pot stickers, like, and I'm like okay, and then I'll say the Chinese word, and they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that because they take a little bit of time and they're hand rolled and it's a lot of work, and they're like, you got to go to and there are specialty places, but it's real expensive. Whereas in China, they make them everywhere, so it's like super cheap. So the idea of paying like $20-$30 for some dumplings that when I was living there, you could get for like $2. Right. I'm not paying $30
for paying $30 for a hot dog in China kind of thing.
Like, I'm not doing that. But they're like, that's what you gotta do, and I'm like, So, but it's always funny when I go to China. Like, there's this one dish that I think about it sometimes when I'm like, when I wake up thinking about it. There's two. there's this one, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm actually going to need to get a hold of, oh crap, I forgot to meet up with him at Comic-Con. I was going to introduce him. Renee, who I traveled with a lot and lived in Harbin, he was at another school, but we were like really good because he has a master's degree in video game design.
Really?
So he's like he brought his GameCube to Harbin. So you know why I hung out with him.
Okay.
He brought his GameCube and all his games, and so he brought his PlayStation, like, and I'm like, oh man, you were smart. So, but he actually lives in San Diego half of the year, I think, and then the other half he's in China. And we were gonna meet up during Comic-Con because I need him to write down the name of this. It's a Harbin thing, and it's like a salad, but it's not. And it sounds gross when I describe it, but I can't describe it. So it's like this noodle salad, but the noodles are actually like it's not. It's kind of tofu, but it's like not.
Okay.
But they're not. They're like half. I don't know. They're like this weird noodles, kind of tofu-y, but not really. And then it's like all these different like cabbage and like sprouts, and they make it like crazy spicy. Like it's this weird spicy but cold salad. It's like kind of like coleslaw, but not really. And you could get like I just liked it because you get a big giant thing of it, and then they put all kinds of meat and stuff in it, and other stuff, just tons of stuff. And you could get it like different levels, and I would get the least spicy, just a little bit, and it would still like just the perfect amount of spicy. Oh, so good. One time I got it like the Chinese spicy, and I almost died. Like, because it's like a spicy cold I don't know. It's for like, because it's real cold there, so I kind of like, I don't know. But it's cold. It's a cold salad. And I don't even know what it's called. So like I need Renee or somebody to like write it down because I've never seen it anywhere. I tried to describe it once up in Alhambra, and they're like, I don't even know what that is. Because like most of there's not a lot of people coming from Harbin. A lot of people come from Taiwan or wherever. So like even in Alhambra, it's hard to find like mainland Chinese people from like weird, like not like Beijing or your normal parts of China. Like I think I met one person from Harbin, and they did not speak any English because Harbin's not a whole lot. Like if you're from Beijing, there's a good chance you probably speak some English.
Right.
Or Hong Kong, definitely. Taiwan, probably. So, but yeah, the salad, I gotta find it. And then the other dish is I can't do I don't speak Mandarin correctly anymore. I used to know the tones.
Right.
I don't anymore. So I'm gonna totally bastardize this. It is San. See, now I'm trying to think of like Spanish, but it's San Chin, and it means I forgot it's three something, because san is three.
Okay.
And then something, but it's potatoes and eggplant and then something else, and then we called it magical Disan Qian sauce. But so the two things that I ate a ton of in China that I would never eat over here because they're disgusting over here, eggplant and tofu. I think tofu's in it too. I think it's potatoes, eggplant, and tofu. I'm not 100% sure. I know it's three things, and then the sauce. And because they cook it, they know how to cook that stuff there. And I never ate eggplant over here. I think it's disgusting. But there, it's so I don't know what they do to it, but it's magical and it's delicious, and I love it. And so this Disan Qian, I would get it everywhere. It was kind of my go-to.
Right.
Like that and like Kung Pao chicken, because you can. Like, and again, even the Kung Pao chicken was different, but it was the best kind of different. Right. Oh, so good. And then their Go Bao Ro, which is their sweet and sour pork. That's the way they do it there. It's like real sweet and sour. I don't know what they do to it. It's totally different. And I've never seen anything like it over here. And but that Disan Qian, and I asked in Alhambra, and they knew what it was, but they're like, we don't make that here. Like, no, like nobody would even, like, because how would you even sell that to somebody? Because it's got, like, people think eggplant here people think eggplant's gross, and they think this is gross, and I'm like, but it's so good. Because when I first got it in China, they didn't tell me what it was. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever had. It was like one of the first dishes I had when we got to China, and it's just thinking about it sometimes. I'm not even joking. Just thinking about it. Like, I'm hungry right now thinking about it.
Well, you should definitely watch this documentary. I think I would love to hear your take on it, because
it's on my queue.
It's on Netflix. It's super good. Search for General So.
All right, we gotta get rolling.
Yeah. I haven't been playing anything other than the standard stuff, so we could go.
The one thing I wanted to mention is, so I've been playing the standard stuff. When I was at work, I noticed that my typing I've like kind of dropped.
Okay.
Like I like having a hard time typing. So I started, I'm like, I wonder if I can find an online typing game to help work on my typing. And I found like the most addicting, greatest thing ever. It's called nitrotype.com. So you sign up, you sign in. You don't have to, but if you sign in, it keeps track of your stats.
Okay.
And so it's a racing game. You race against real people.
Whoever can type the fastest.
And then it's like, and then you seriously have a race car, and like your cars are racing, and as you build up your levels and you get experience points for winning races, and then you can get different cars, and there's achievements, and it keeps track of all your stats. It's everything that you want, but you're typing, and since I'm a really good typer, like there's like teams were fighting over getting me on their team, because a lot of these teams, their average is like 40 words a minute, maybe 50. My official average right now is like 75.
Nice.
And like, so I'm like an in-demand typist. I'm already a level 19. I've only been playing for like 3 days.
A Nitro Type?
Dude, nitrotype.com. If you get on there, my name is BrendoMan. You can add me as a friend. We can be friends. We can do friend races. Yeah, dude, I love it. I'm so addicted. It's awesome. Nitrotype.com. That's it. Marmaduke can go.
Let's do Marmaduke and close it out, yes. Marmaduke tonight. It's a doozy.
Ugh.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I guess we're hate reading Marmaduke.
I guess we are. I think so. I don't know. It's what we do now, so we have to.
My mom sent me the Marmaduke.
Yeah,
we gotta get
what
some
it is. You gotta get some
them.
value out of it because no one's gonna buy it from you.
No. Like if we had those out at like Comic Book Sci-Fi, nobody's buying those Marmaduke books.
All right, we got the two kids here, and the boy and the girl. Halloween is only 1 week from tomorrow, says the little boy. Let's make a costume for Marmaduke, the little girl says. The boy says, how about using this old fur jacket and Mom's old wig? They're dressing him up like a person. We can use these old pantyhose. They're putting clothes on the dog. And these boots.
Oh, it's so funny.
More clothes on the dog. Great, nobody will ever guess who he is. Let's take him out and see. He's dressed up like an old woman. All the dogs are laughing at him because he looks like a person. And the punchline, I didn't know dogs ever got embarrassed.
That's barely a joke. That's like that's not even a joke. Because the dogs laugh at it. What is that? Is that Marmaduke?
That's Marmaduke like a person. Yeah,
Marmaduke's
the dogs
a person.
Are laughing at him like a person. He's embarrassed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that definitely falls in that category. And that's Marmaduke for the night.
I hate Marmaduke so much. It's just, like, what are we doing with our lives? Because Marmaduke guy.
I don't know. I didn't know dogs got embarrassed. It's the same people that like this are the ones that watch America's Funniest Home Videos and think the videos of, like, a dog wearing a funny hat is, like, the funniest one.
Somebody made a living off of these, Phil.
I know. For a long time.
What are we doing with our lives?
I don't know.
But that couldn't happen. I keep saying that, but it could. I think it could.
But it's different now.
Yeah, dumber things.
Dumber.
We now have are the Kardashians our Marmaduke?
Yeah, that's the Marmaduke of 2015.
I don't know, man. We live in a
Kim Kardashian thinks she's a person.
I can't get over the VMA thing where like best rock video was presented. I'd have to look. We have to do some research and see if they've done that before. But if this is the first year they did it, what if it was Josh's? Like,
we need to get him on and talk about this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And all his, because it sounds like he had quite the evening.
Yeah, quite an adventure there.
There was a picture that he posted on Instagram where he's like, "This guy was obviously a pimp."
Yeah.
Like, But they're at the VMAs, so I'm like, there were pimps there? Like, what is happening? He went to a private party that Justin Bieber was at.
And he said like it was the saddest thing he'd ever
Because you
seen.
said Justin Bieber had a bunch of yes men that were lip syncing to his songs.
Yeah.
They were like singing the songs along. And that sounds weird. I want to hear some Justin Bieber stories. Definitely got to get in contact. All right. I'm out.
All right. Thank you guys for listening and supporting our show.
Yeah, thank you. And I guess go to radiobrendo.com and click on all those links and listen to the episode. Tell your friends.
Yep.
Again, we know we're hard sell.
Well, tonight's episode's only going to be like 3 hours. That's pretty good for us. With all the...
Well, maybe even less.
Maybe less. Just under 3.
Unless we keep talking.
That's possible.
It is possible. You never know when that next tangent...
Yep.
Gonna happen. We better wrap up the show.
Better do it fast. You never go to bed.
All right. Well, I need to go to bed. So for Radio BrendoMan, I'm Brendan Creasy.
And I'm Phil Vecchio.
Have a good one, everybody. If I can find the right thing.
I think that was a record of saying what's going to wrap it up to actually doing it. Like that's
because I was like, if we don't, as I was saying it, I'm like, that's 100% accurate.
Yep, because I can just think of all kinds of other things we could have talked about.
I was starting to think of them, and then I'm like, I gotta stop.
You can't do it.
This is about the time I went to bed yesterday, and caffeine is what got me through today. It's okay. I don't have a ton I have to do. Wednesday and Thursday is gonna suck. Because Thursday I have to deliver all those computers to the offsite one, which means I'm going to be over there for a long time. It's probably going to be hot. And then those 15 laptops. So the other guys are setting up, so I have to set up 5. Another guy sets up 5, then another guy sets up 5. I have to deliver all 15 of them.
Oh, jeez. Do you
have to drive
your own car?
I'm not allowed to drive my own car.
How do you get there?
I have to beg people, some other guys.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's weird.
Because I'm a temp, I'm not allowed to. And right now, I'm still not signed off on going on deliveries by myself, so I have to find somebody to go with me on those. But hopefully Wednesday is my last evaluation, hopefully. My evaluation on Friday went pretty well.
Okay.
I had a few dings.
Okay.
But he said he always does at least 2.
All right. So that's good. Nothing major.
Nothing major. There were some nitpicky things. It was fine, though.
That's good.
But yeah. So that's what's going on. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
And Andres.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Oh, don't forget to stop
Good night, YouTube. Where did they get that shirt? That's really cool.
Target, Walmart, probably Walmart. Yeah. I was kind of embarrassed at first because I don't always like ones that you have to read a lot. So I don't want everyone like staring at the belly like, oh. But then I got like a lot of compliments when I worked at Disneyland the other day. So
anyone going to Knott's this year? Yes, I am going to Knott's. I will let you know. It's sometime Mike's coming down. I think he said October 10th. Because I go whenever. I got coupons from my work.
Nice.
Also, but we'll have to compare discounts. Oh, see, yeah, if you go on the Wednesday nights, that's when it's like crazy cheap. But I can't go on a work night. Yeah. It's not happening. And also, Mike comes down. He's coming down from NorCal, so he comes down on a Saturday. So it's more crowded. But even last year, we get there early enough where before it gets real crowded, we're basically done. Because it fills up. Like people get there late, and so it gets really crowded later. But we get there when it opens.
That's cool.
So before it even gets super crowded, we're already most of the way done with all the mazes.
So you excited for that new maze they're putting in this year? Gas lamp after midnight maze.
It should be a maze.
You got tramps, barfs, tough boys, rich psychotic people, dancers, wrestling fans,
prostitutes, bathrooms, porta potties,
rats,
roaches,
yep,
trash cans. Past that, homeless dudes,
bushes,
cops.
It's crazy. And then at the end, you have to get an Uber.
Well, yeah, I would. I'll let you know for sure what weekend I'm going. I got to plan out. I got to coordinate with Derek and Lynch when we're doing Universal, because I missed out on that last year. And this year they're doing some. They have a "This Is the End" maze, like the Seth Rogen that movie. They're doing Purge for the Terror Tram, so it's not Walking Dead Terror Tram like it has been for the last like 3 years. So at least it was something new, and also just I don't know why, but just the idea of the Purge is so scary to me, just because I know I would die so fast in the Purge.
It wouldn't be that scary because you'd just be dead.
But that idea is like, if that happened, I would be so screwed.
Yeah.
Because I can't afford to lock down my house like the people that stay safe. Because like even that's the whole plot of the second one is how the Purge is targeting poor people, and like I'm the fat poor person. I can't run away. So the idea of the Purge is just very scary to me. So being in the Purge maze is like, ugh. And then there's some other good ones. I think we're getting the Alien one, the Alien vs. Predator one is coming back, which I missed last year. And I've heard so much about that Alien Queen. Yeah. It's like the biggest, from what they were saying, it was like the biggest animatronic, one of the biggest animatronics like ever made. It's huge and crazy. And like, so I got to see that.
Sounds cool.
There's that new Guillermo del Toro movie, Crimson Peak.
Oh yeah,
which that just Guillermo del Toro.
That looks really cool.
So how excited are you? Is the visit going to be an opening weekend?
If it's all possible.
Are you going to try and dump your kids off on me, or
I don't know,
somebody?
I'll tell you that.
Like, how excited are you for the visit? That one might be
like or what do you call it? The one in Harkins where they do the daycare.
Oh.
That's easy to do. And it's harder to coordinate like opening weekend for that other stuff. We'll see. We'll see.
Are you very excited?
Very excited.
For the Bloom
M. Night
Bloom. Plus Bloom.
It's the best.
Which I didn't know that Bloom like had branched off and like, because like look at his credits.
He does all kinds of stuff.
He does like serious. He's got to be so rich, dude.
Yeah.
Like.
He made so much off the first one alone.
Yeah, and then he just. But I think it's cool that he diversified.
Yeah,
like I guess.
Good for him.
Yeah, look at all these. Yeah. The Darwin Awards, the Accident of Graduation, The Reader, Paranormal. So he did all these horror movies. Then the freaking FP, that was them. Which that movie was awesome.
Yeah.
But like so there's like some other stuff. The Normal Hearts. That is the HBO like docudrama about like the gay rights movement and like stuff like that won a bunch of Emmys. But like mostly horror stuff. But things like The Normal Heart and other stuff, that's just so random. But then I don't even know what half of these are.
I don't know.
Like he cranked out
From 2003 to 2015, that's what, like 40 movies or something?
It's a lot of movies. And then look at how many he's got in production.
Yeah.
And then Gem, that's the other one that they're doing. But like that looks, it's not Gem. Like it looks like a stereotypical like teen becomes a pop star, and like that's not Gem. Yeah. That is not what Gem is.
But there were some like special powers or something.
Yes. Well, she had earring, kind of, not really.
They started to hint at it.
Yeah, but I don't know. So Lynch said they just they have like no money.
Right.
But he says like they really love Gem, so I'm like maybe the trailer is misleading because the trailer makes it seem like it's just your stereotypical like, oh, poor teen becomes I'm like, that is not Gem.
I'm telling you though, there was a hint at like a supernatural type element.
Yeah, but it's not the holograms, and that's how she like because the whole thing is she has the earrings and they disguise her, and I don't know. It didn't seem like
she was.
Well, it's Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana before Hannah Montana.
Yeah. But using like hologram technology, I don't know. But this Green Inferno, that's the new Eli Roth. That's the Eli Roth cannibal movie, which I want to see that. And then like some of these other, he's doing an Amityville movie, Ouija 2. You know, Ouija made like a crazy amount. All these movies, they make them for like no money, and they're all super. Like The Purge 2 was only didn't even do that well, but it still made like 1,000% profit, or like some crazy thing. I don't know. What are we doing, Phil? Like right now, like what's happening? Why are we doing this? The GIF. That's what he also did. The GIF.
Yeah.
Like people have been saying that was pretty good.
That's really cool.
It looks
Jason Bateman.
Yeah, it looks real freaky.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't forget
But those Insidious movies, like I don't know. They look...
I saw the first Insidious. That was good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you're big on those PG-13.
PG-13 scaries are my favorite.
For me, that's too scary because I like when they go to gore because then I know it's not going to be too.
Yeah, to me that's just gross and not actually.
Yeah, but PG-13 scary now is just all jump scares.
Yeah, but it's fun.
I don't like that. If I would just like have somebody going like, okay, here's what I like. I don't mind a PG-13 like disturbing scary. Okay. Like I felt like Paranormal Activity was mostly disturbing.
Yeah.
Like
that was actually R.
Like okay, but still. Though. But like okay, but like something like disturbing. Like I don't know, like I like that kind of stuff with a couple jumps, but mostly disturbing. Yeah. Like because that Ouija board movie, I still can't get that out of my head. Just talking about it freaks me. Like just the Ouija board scene, the breathing, and like that part, just some of those parts.
Well, dude, just the bed sheets pulling down, like that's it right there. I'm like, it's the most.
I'm out. Thing. I don't know, the one where she's just standing over the bed for like that.
Just like wondering, like, whoa, what is happening while I'm asleep? And then how scary would it be if you actually set up a camera and something like that happened?
I would never sleep.
Oh, I got like the shivers.
I don't know what I would like. Because we were just talking about that with that other thing. I'm like, I don't know what I think I would go insane. Like I think that's how you go crazy. Yeah. Either that or like I would. I don't know.
If you watch a video of you at night and your sheets.
If anything happened, can you
someone like lift that video?
Stop it.
Tonight, don't think about it. Don't think about it in bed.
That's great. Thanks, Phil. It's almost 1 a.m. I have to be up. And
you started looking up him in the first place.
Oh, what did we do that for?
See?
All right. Well, good night.
We haven't even watched it, and we're like freaking ourselves out about it.
We were a bunch of wussies.
Don't forget to stop the broadcast.